shack at. The bottles getting nifty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
Rappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Thursday, August 24th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a extremely enjoyable poker night last night. Thank you to all that came out to rock with us. And big shout out to our Week 2 champion, Tim Earl. Dexter Pope winning Week 1. Tim Earl winning Week 2 with a big showdown. It was Tim Earl, Peter Loshak, and Nut Flush Allen, the final 3 competitors. So Tim Earl winning, he won the $462 for first place. He won the $109 ticket to the Sunday showdown. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern this Sunday on Bet Online. And he won free entry into our NFL Cappers contest. And the top 3 finishers in our first week, their tickets to the Sunday Showdown are for this week. So we're going to have 6 of our guys in the big Sunday night showdown, which is a big one, $109 entry fee. And we would like to see our squad get that cash. So thank you to all of you. Jose did a great job hosting. It was extremely enjoyable. And the battle between Tim Earl and our Peter Loshak was a monstrous battle that went for a long time, heads up, and it was extremely fun to watch. So big thank you to everybody who supported our poker tournament. Yesterday, everybody knows the struggles I've been having in MLB over the last month or so. Yesterday, the 4 bets I made pre-show were atrocious. I destroyed the line moves. I lost Tigers first 3, Tigers first 5, Minnesota, Milwaukee first 3 under 2.5. The roof was open with 110 Fahrenheit heat. Is that Bud Selig being a cheap bastard, not wanting to pay for air conditioning? I couldn't believe it. I was just beside myself. I immediately live bet the over, but still, just fucking taking out money and lighting it on fire. So Minnesota, Milwaukee first 3 under 2.5, Minnesota, Milwaukee first 5 under 4.5, and I was really, really down. But, you know, you got to fight through it. Royals first 5 cash, San Francisco, Philadelphia first 5 under 5 cash, Reds first 5 plus a half cash. Now, look, that was beneficial to see Shohei Ohtani leave the game, and he's not going to pitch again for the rest of the season. And Ella De La Cruz taking care of business for me with a 3-run shot. That's only his second home run from the right side. And it was gorgeous. That guy is like just a monster. I mean, a 5-tool player of your wildest dreams. I mean, all the 5-tool talk from back in the day, they were dreaming about a player like Ella De La Cruz. Padres -1. Both the Padres and Yankees -1 cashed. We've gotten in the way of huge winning streaks and losing streaks. And the crybaby pussy play of the day, the New York Yankees on a 9-game losing streak, was an easy casher correlated with Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day. So, but for me, I got the Royals first 5, San Francisco, Philadelphia first 5 under 5, Reds first 5 plus a half, Padres -1 to get back in the striking distance. 4-4 then. Then for me, I lost the Rockies first 3 plus a half. The Rays scored a run in the 3rd inning with 1 out. That hurt. Orioles plus 121. I cashed all alone. No, not all alone. We had some low baggers with me, but Jose Bouquett, who'd been riding with the Orioles with me every day, he left me alone for this one, and he lamented it, and we were all over him in the poker game for what is the right word for abandoning me? Is that the right word? Let's figure out what the right word is, but make sure it's mean. Yankees -1 cashed, and then Mets for 3 plus a half. It did not cash. It was, Nut Flush Allen sent me a message at like 4 a.m. saying you got to be on the Braves team till over today. I just got a little caught up with the fucking magic pixie dust that is dropped by the aging left-hander who was on the mound for the Mets yesterday. I could have done things differently. I also should have been on the under in the Orioles-Jays game, but one of the issues that I have, and I'm sure a lot of people have, is that I Justin McElvey, thank you. I just saw that pop up on the screen. I don't have the chat up here on this. I have it up here, but I'm too high up. I like seeing that pop up on the screen. I should have been on the Jays Orioles under, but I made too many bets yesterday, and that's what happens when I'm struggling. I just start risking more. And then starting out 0-4 was I was going to look for a ditch. I was going to buy a bottle, and I wasn't going to come out. And no one was going to see me for a while. But then we went 6-2 on our last, so 6-6. Now look, it's a horrible season, but I have hope. And as we say here, there's nothing more dangerous than a capper with hope. Shout out to all the cappers joining us. We have a huge show ahead of us. We start with the lone CFL contest. Then we have 2 NFL games. You guys, everyone talk Baltimore Ravens preseason. Nah. Pittsburgh Steelers preseason. Mike Tomlin preseason. Printing money for us. And now we have an interesting situation where Arthur Smith just, watched his Falcons play horrible against the Cincinnati Bengals backups last week. So we have the Steelers, Falcons, that'll be second, and Colts, Eagles. And then we get into MLB. We have I think it's a 9-game MLB card. I am dealing with a lack of sleep, but it's not because of staring at the roof, heartbroken over the horrible capping I've been displaying. This one was just because we played poker all night, and then we capped for a long time. And I've got hope, baby. I have got hope. Noli knows is not going to be able to make it here to the show today, unfortunately. So it will be Jose and I. Now, Jose is grinded all the way back. Jose is led by example. We've seen cappers grind back and lead by example. I've done it in some sports. I certainly have not done it here, and this is fucking embarrassing. When my record pops on the screen, you will see how goddamn embarrassing it is. Now, I did lose a little bit of juice yesterday, so it is the graphic that our friend Jose has created for us. Unfortunately, it's 1 day since last winning day, Jose. We got to put the 1 there instead of the okay, but okay, all right. It's now I who's wearing those boots? Where'd you find those boots? It is 0 winning days in a row, unfortunately, because I lost a little bit of juice. All right, let's get in. So I have not made a bet. I'm and another thing I was thinking of is how bad my pre-show bets have gone and how good the post-show bets have gone, at least yesterday. So no action for me, but I'm ready to fire away. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Zane Cole ready to get to work. There's Justin McElvey. Tucker RBI plus 135 is the stacks play of the day. Let's copy and paste the stacks play of the day. Justin Tucker. Kyle Tucker. What did I say? Justin Tucker? So I'm looking at Justin McElvey. See, that's the sign. That's how you know that there was not a lot of sleep last night after poker. Alondo coming off a monster day. 5-1. Almost got a sweep, but Astros hurt him. Over 9.5 for the Cards. Reds money line. Padres money line. Yankees money. Padres, Yankees, Baltimore. We rode together on those. Beautiful work. The Big Blue Latino play of the day cash twice in a row. And there's Ron Crawford. Look at this. Spreadsheet play of the day. Chicago White Sox -1. The White Sox -1. Let us lock that in. That's old Kenny Waldecock up against Jesse Schultens. Copied and pasted. I hope I end up on that bet because now I just hope I end up because when we've been riding together, it's been very good for me. There's our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. He was extremely fun at the poker night last night, as always. We also bet us in a boy together, the huge casher at the end. Mark E. Well, Jared Brown, lost him. He got claimed. This is like an old horse. He's at least 8 years old. He got claimed. He might even be 10. He's an old horse. He got claimed from Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown claims him back. And that was a nice casher for Razor. Great work, Razor. The big Booty Latina play today, going for 3 straight, is the over 9 in Houston, Boston. Over at 9. That game pops off. That is afternoon action. We are filled with afternoon action. We did live bet the over in the Game 2 Angels game. In Game 2 Angels Reds, cashed that very nicely. So actually it was a winning day, but for show purposes, it was not. Lost a little bit of vig. BJ, best bet is the Diamondbacks. There's been some interesting spots here on the board. We have Garrett Cole as a primary today. Last night, I had my finger on the trigger. I could have bet him. I could have bet the Yankees at minus 160. So I could have got the -1 at, I think it was it plus 102? And I did not. And I didn't know that Garrett Cole was the primary at that point. And I probably should have known. Would I have pulled the trigger? The reason why I didn't pull the trigger is I was concerned about our friend Patrick Corbin. 2 very strong starts in a row. Now, look, I know the Yankees have been smashing lefties, but I did not move on it. And I could have. And especially when you're, drunk, that's when you usually press the button. But Patrick Corbin, I had visions of Patrick Corbin, and I don't know if he pitches well here, even though we talked about the Yankees against lefties, and that was part of the reason why we were on them yesterday. We'll discuss all of that. Viper NB, he's on the over 8.5 in Toronto, Baltimore. That one will be fun. It was a crucial victory. If only the Rockies had held on and beat the Rays. If only that had happened, then we'd be back to the 3-game lead. I think everything should be fine. The Rays play the Jays, I believe, 7 times over the final 10 games of the year. And those will be important games for the Jays. I expect them to be able to win, half of those, right? Put the Orioles in good shape. But the 2-game lead over the Orioles, and now the Orioles, it's not a huge casher. It sounds like a huge casher at plus 525 for $500, but it cleans up. Now, I will be in the black, obviously, but I've made mistakes in my futures and it cleans up, which means I really need it. Perky Sanderson says that the Astros is free money. Free money, says Perky Sanderson, against Jose's beloved Red Sox. Let's copy and paste that right here. There's Nut Flush Allen. Spectacular work. Nut Flush says, BJ, I'm on the Arizona side with you, currently working on the team total. There's Steve G in the house. Big Daddy Boom. We got Leon in the house. Equanimus ready to get to work. There is the nuke worker, Tori Coker. Fly White Mike. I'm a little behind here. Let's get this going. Our guy, Michael Ervalina, Mr. Babalina. Great to see you, Michael, my friend. And Andrew G. Guillermo Zertucci. Jedi for life in the house. Ronnie and Bergia says Reds are involved in a lot of one-run games. Reverse run line is actually a little cheap for Arizona full game. Nobody's played more one-run games, more 2-run games, and more 3-run games than the Cincinnati Reds. They lead in all of those. Raymond Reichart, ready to go. Our guy, Guillermo Zertucci. We have the Travers Stakes on Saturday. Good God, are there monsters in that race? Is that not just the race of our wildest dreams? I wish the field was a little bigger, but they're all just absolute monsters. Ooh-wee. Forte, Arcangelo, Mage. They're all 3 of them battling, but there's other beasts in that race. A lot of people loving Scotland. Scotland is not being a part of these wars, as his trainer calls it. This is his first war. Ronnie and Bergie on the Alouettes +9. That's going to be our first spot. I haven't heard anybody on the Bombers, and yet this line's gone from 7 to 9. We talked about it yesterday on the poker night with Nicholas Earl, and Nicholas Earl was trying to get in his action. The Alouettes dealing with the dreaded 4 days rest. We'll get into that game here very, very shortly. Very, very shortly here. Dad Fan got 300 on Dodgers first 5. Says, do I let it ride or opt out with my... Oh, wow. And that's still live. Usually date change of events loses that bet. I'm surprised that's still live. Very surprised that's still live, Dad Fan. But happy for you because they're up 3-1. Morgan Spooner says, bets I've made, Cubs -1, Texas, Minnesota, first 5 over 4.5, and Baltimore money line. Perky saying that he absolutely smashed the Astros today. Let me just copy and paste all of this pertinent information. There we go. J-Dub, Wine Time Sports, reclaim James Kong's clips, Atlanta, Wake, and Bake. Rocco Rogers. There's Red Girl in the house. Nate Dogg, 420. Equanimus, Mally, Mal, Nasty, motherfucking Nate. What a great group. There's Mike M. Pimp Slap Playday catches again. That was just so... God, roof open. Kenta Maeda, he was like melting out there. He was melting. Oh, God. Derek Parra says, do you think the Houston Astros bounced back from the loss yesterday? Well, we'll have a lot of breakdowns on that. There's a gas report. There is Von Polo ready to get to work. Billy Friedrich. Now, Billy Friedrich, our guy is signed up for our Cappers contest. And the Cappers contest live now. Live on our website. You can see everybody that's in live at pubsportsradio.com. And we need you guys in. There is Pistol Pete Loshak, last year's winner. Oh, wow. Brito's listed as a primary, says Jose Bouquett. So no Garrett Cole. Wow, what did that do with the line? Oh, God. How did that change this? Okay, I've got CFL up. Wow. I imagine it changed it greatly because it was -160, goes up to -200. Now Brito is the primary, and it's -216. Good God. 60 cents of movement. Good God damn. That's some wild shit, Jose. That's some wild shit. Subhuman Gaucho ready to get to work at DC Capper Series business. Slow Jams Arsenal. That's a great group. There's Justin McElway's abandon is the perfect word. No loyalty. Nate Dogg 420 says Gausman is over K again and again. No run support. Gausman called out the team after the game. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he did that. I did not know that. Rocco Rogers giving a shout out to Hunter Engelhart. That was a spectacular cap by our friend Hunter Engelhart. All right, we got to get to work. I hope I've said what up to all of you guys. Robert Franklin, Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, my guy Markel, Brandon the Great, J-Dub. Luke Murphy says back to school tomorrow? How is it tomorrow, Luke? Isn't it are we still 2 weeks away? Tomorrow, Luke? Esteemed author Luke Murphy in our chat. There's Gifted Cartel, Gary Tenebra, Benjamin Martin. Love this squad, man. Love it. Look at that. Nutflush Allen says, I have made a deal with one of the biggest K-pop groups, and we will visit Jose to teach him a poker etiquette lesson. We will be visiting him at the Pubapalooza event. I wonder how Jose feels about that. We need a clip of what went down, Jose. Let's have Jose's rebuttal here. Jose, it was 3-handed. Mike went all in. Nutflush Allen went all in, and you screamed for Tim Earl to call him. How do you feel about all that? You're muted. I think you're muted. I hope you're muted. Okay, now you're gone. I maybe that was all part of his ploy. Maybe he has no answer. Maybe he was just pretending to have an answer. Oh. Okay, no, we have no audio from our friend Jose Bouquett. He had audio a little while ago, but the audio is gone. We've had a couple technical issues over the last few days here.
I know it's been shit today. Everything's been shit. Nut flush. It had to be done. You had to do it to you. You hate to see it. I didn't want you to lose, but it had to be done. Nut flush. There's no excuses. It just had to be done.
Yes, but you would like the person to make that decision on their own accord. Without the
Tim was fine. He had it. I'll take Tim's winnings, though, if he said I contributed to that hand. I'll take a slice. 1% is fine.
Poker etiquette. He must learn. He must learn. Gifted Cartel, moving on. Yerfies. We got Yerfie action from Gifted Cartel. Red Sox, Astros, and Guardians, Dodgers. So what Yerfie is that? That'd be game 2's Yerfie? Because it's a very strange situation we have with the Dodgers here. All right, it is time to get to work. Thank you guys all for joining us. Troy Torrance on the Cubs first half -0.5 and full game -1.5. I'm going to copy and paste all of these. I'm not going to put them in. Actually, there's only 9 games. I should be able to find the Cubs game. I'm going to just stay calm and find it. And there it is, 7:05 p.m. Big moves for Troy Torrance on the Cubs. Guillermo says Pratt is on Mage. That's his pick for the Travers. I mean, Castellano could have been on Mage. He did not want to hurt Delgado's feelings, so he said nothing. Delgado knew that nothing meant that he wanted Arcangelo. Why would Castellano do that? Now, I know some extremely talented thoroughbred cappers like yourself that think Mage will win this, but it's hard for me to get over that. Hunter Engelhart, you were spectacular yesterday. There's Rebecca Evans, a.k.a. Jordan Nordman, who was excellent in the poker tournament. He went all the way down. Dave Redling, Professor Chris, Scotty Foster, Saturated, Stimmy, OG, says, boss gave me tickets to the Niners game tomorrow. Would you take them? Oh, man, I wish I could. And Wine Time Sports is on the Blue Jays today. Jeffrey Moore, Ron Crawford, NFL spreadsheet play today is the Eagles +5. Let's get over there. Eagles +5. For those of you who are very excited about week 0 in college football, we do have DJ Big Boss. He's going to be coming on our show tomorrow. Mr. Big Boss will be giving us his week 0 looks live from Las Vegas. We have DJ Big Boss alert tomorrow. For those of you who want to talk college football, we'll be all over it. And, of course, we'll be all over all of the midweek college football games all year long. And then we will pick and choose the Saturday ones that we cap. Okay. We got to get to work here. Ish, your boy, what up? And Eric Jones, Daryl Turner, Arnillo in the house. And he'll be at the Falcons game. He's all over the Steelers' money line. What a great group. What a great group from all you guys. KCOH says Yankees raised money line parlay at +120. We're going to talk about all of that. And thank you guys for joining us. Oh, and Aaron Martin is back and gone. That's all right. Okay. Oh, man, I can't believe this guy's. Oh, I missed his first comment. Thank God. This guy's fucking following me around for 6 years.
You just band in love now, Jimmy?
I do.
Oh, my God.
6 years? 6 years this guy's been following me around.
Makes me sick. I love that guy.
Making horrific sexual advances towards me.
I love that guy. I wish he would turn some of those towards me, honestly.
I know Pete would be upset. Pete would be like, this is gold. You got to keep it on during the show. But we have a lot of work to do. And I prefer to focus rather than be, what's the right word? Horrified here by the.
I think more hit on is the better H word there.
But 6 years this guy's been following me around. 6 years.
Persistence pays, right?
No, it does not. No. Persistence in this situation will land you in the clink. Now, not here, but in general, if you are dropping advances towards somebody over and over and over again for 6 years, it can get you a restraining order. It can do that. Saturated says, can we see the photo of you hitchhiking again before we move on? Yes, we can. Let's see that picture one more time that Jose has created there. There it is. I don't even know if that's a man. That could be a tough.
That's not.
It's a woman?
It's not.
Oh, damn. All right. Okay.
Well, look at those boots.
All right, let's get to work. We open with the Canadian Football League, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The Montreal Alouettes, 6-3, 3-1 on a 4-game winning streak at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 8-2, 4-1 at home at IG Field in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Razor said, "Is that a straw in the water jug?" That's how I should have known that it was a woman, right? Dude, don't put a straw in the water jug, man. The dude, don't do that. Luke Murphy says Quebec teachers start tomorrow. That's rough. That's rough, but good find there. Good find there, Razor. Oh, and spreadsheet dog Cleveland at plus 125. That's Gavin Williams versus Pepio. That's a really, really interesting spot here, and that's game 2. And now it's not the spreadsheet play of the day, but it is a spreadsheet spot. Straw in the jug. If I had seen that, I would have known it was a woman. I feared that it might be a woman. Okay, we're at IG Field in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The dirty, dirty peg. 82 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 4 miles per hour. It's beautiful weather in the dirtiest of Canadian cities. All right. The Owls are playing on the daunting 4 days rest. Teams on 4 days rest this year are 2-8 straight up. And the question that we have to ask ourselves is it negated with the Bombers playing on just 5 days rest? As Nate Dogg says, Winnipeg gets their starting quarterback today back. So do the Alouettes. Fajardo comes back from a 2-game absence. Caleros comes back from a almost 2 games absence. Let's talk about this line history. This just keeps moving towards the Bombers, and yet I don't see anybody on the Bombers. Strange. Opens up at 7.5 and is now 9. There were cappers who thought 7.5 was too many points. And yet, 9s are now on the board. From a total perspective, this opened up at 47.5 and it's now 48. Let's talk about why we would want to back Montreal, why everybody is on Montreal, and their defenses looked very, very good. They picked up Sean Lemon right before week 8. And he has just been an absolute monster on their pass rush. Their defense has never been stronger. I don't remember seeing this Alouettes team, at least this incarnation of them, with a stronger defense. They outscored Ottawa 22-7 in the second half to pull out a comeback 25-24. That was much to my chagrin because I took the Red Blacks on the money line at plus 110 instead of taking the plus 1.5 or 2. Like a schmuck. The Owls' secondary is also very strong. They're allowing the fewest passing yards per game. Now they're going to have their hands full with Zach Caleros back and these Bombers. Back to the Alouettes, Austin Mack, a wide receiver, now leading the league in receiving yards. Austin Mack, and he gets Fajardo back. The Bombers come in off of just squeaking past the Stampeders 19-18. Steve G says 48 days until NHL action. And Nate Dogg says Montreal plus 9. Every single person, I swear to God, I have not seen one person on the Bombers, and now it's 9. That makes me extremely uncomfortable, and that will take me off of the Montreal Alouettes. That will take me off of the Montreal Alouettes. Now, Markel talking about the under. You have both teams' offenses coming off a week where they couldn't get out of second gear because they didn't have their superstar quarterbacks. Now their quarterbacks are back. Quinn is saying Austin Mack was a New York Giant, now leading the league in the Canadian Football League as wide receiver. I thought this was going to be an Alouettes first half and full game. I was going to bet it, and we were going to move on. But seeing it go from 8.5 to 9 and not 8.5 to 8 or back to 7.5 has me extremely concerned. They're opening up their arms to any Montreal Alouettes action, and I would prefer not to be involved in it. Now, if we were sitting here with no opportunity to bet the NFL, I maybe would force a spot. Justin McAfee says, I don't bet CFL, but that alone makes me add the Bombers to your card. You know, these are some really good cappers on the Owls. Unfortunately, I've got no move on this at this point. I'm uncomfortable with the situation, and I know we got 2 NFL games to cap. So let's move on to the NFL. And you guys wanting to know from the total scenario, it's not. Honestly, I think my initial feeling towards the under because of how good the Alouettes defense is. I feel like we need to really see how good they are, and we'll get an idea here. I lean towards a live over. Nate Dogg said, how about Montreal plus the points first half? I thought I was going to be on first half full game, Nate. I'm just pretty uncomfortable here. Andrew G said he'd rather save the money and put on the BC Lions to smash the Tiger Cats. I like that idea. Okay. Philly Eagle Flyer also saying 48 days NHL action that will stop me from working to comment. Yeah, we're all extremely excited. Extremely excited. And also, very interesting, Dennis Garcia very upset with the Austin Matthews signing, which I find interesting because to get a superstar on a 4-year contract is tough to do. And I think that will help the Leafs in the long run because we see what these long contracts end up doing to these teams. I can't wait for the NHL too. But let's move on to the NFL. My God, we have our first Thursday night live football game in 2 weeks. We are 2 weeks away from our first Thursday night live stream here on Pub Sports Radio. God damn, 2 weeks away, which means we are 12 days away from our new show, Bankroll Blitz, starring Troy Torrance and myself. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how he handles this. It's going to be so much fun. It's fun to see how Cappers handle the pressure and opportunity, and I think that he will be spectacular here. I'm so excited to watch how he uses his analytics background mixed with his football background. All right. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, the Pittsburgh Steelers 2-0, 1-0 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons 1-0-1, 0-0-1. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. We talked about at the beginning of the season how Mike Tomlin cares very much about preseason. All of a sudden, he's just 39-24 overall in his career, but 17-4 in his last 21 preseason games he's running. Now, Arthur Smith, the jury is out, and he's not letting us know very much. Tomlin lets us know sort of the situation. He said that he quote unquote that his starters will play until he's satisfied. Until he's satisfied. What does that mean to you guys? Nate Dogg leaning to the over 39 and the Pittsburgh Steelers money line. I'm only 7-7 so far in the preseason after a 12-2 preseason last year. I'm not happy with that. That's not enough for us to get the season started. Let's start with the line history here for this spot in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's pull up the line history here, and we know that the Steelers are juggernauts here, and they're going to be backed by a lot of cappers. We're going to go to Pinnacle's opening. The Steelers open up at -2.5. That came out on Monday at 2:28 p.m. And you could get the 2.5 until midnight. What the hell were we doing on Monday night that we couldn't? Oh, it's our Monday night live stream. What the hell did we not talk about this? So it opened up at -2.5, -115. By 5:34 p.m., that -2.5 was -142. By 5:36 p.m., it was -164. I mean, this just got hammered. Then they moved it from 2.5 to 4.5 because they don't give you alternate lines here. They will give you alternate lines in the regular season NFL games. So this moved to 4.5 at 8:17 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and it stayed there. It has not moved. The juice has not moved. The sharps have already got in with limits, and it hasn't moved. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. Steelers, Falcons. We're sitting at 38.5 at Pinnacle, heavily juiced to the under. This opened up at 38.5, slightly juiced to the under. Then there was, I take that back. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Heavily juiced to the under. So let's do this again. Sorry. They're showing it a different way now. This website keeps changing and it pisses me off. It opened up slightly juiced to the over 38.5. The over 38.5. So this was the exact same time they put out the spread. By Tuesday morning, this was juiced even more. So it was looking like 39s, and there were 39s at other books. And then the move to the under came. There was a 12-cent move to the under on Wednesday morning. And since then, it's pretty much stayed there. So with NFL, we get to look at the cash flow, and I really want to hear what you guys think about this spot. So I'd really like to hear, as always, but I want to hear what your plans are here for Falcons Steelers. Let's take a look at the cash flow here to get us started. We have 52% of the tickets and 81% of the cash on the Steelers. So you have to ask yourself, when did those bets come in? Because I imagine they didn't come in at the 4.5 point spread. Now let's go to the total. The total has 68% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on the under. Now we're only talking about 2,190 bets. We're not talking about a ton of bets here. So Tomlin has said that his starters will play until he's satisfied. What does that mean to you? I think that means a quarter. And this starting offense has looked excellent. If you watch the 27-15 win over Buffalo last week, Pickett was in complete control through the 25-yard touchdown to Freiermuth. They were up 21-0 at the half. Pickett looks very good so far. He is 9 of 11 in the preseason thus far with 2 touchdowns. And Arthur Smith will not let us know exactly who will start and how long they will start for. The Falcons did not look good in their 13-13 tie at home versus the Bengals last week. Our guy Mike M was on the Bengals plus 6.5. Mike M's now 6-0 in the preseason. His first preseason of action for him. He's not bet the preseason until we chastised him for not doing it. Now he's 6-0. I think you should all bet the preseason. We keep hammering this over and over and over again, but in the NFL, it's golden, and that's why they limit the pros. That doesn't affect our action. Now, if BJ wants to put 5 units and put 2,500 on it, he won't be allowed to. And that's a sign that you should be betting it. And if your unit size is $200 like mine, it's heaven. It's heaven. So let's talk about the Falcons. Heineke did not look very good. He was able to move the ball, but he did not look good in the red zone. 13-21 for 162 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Desmond Ridder was 7-9, 80 yards. He also moved the ball with ease, but then he threw an interception. Logan Woodside, 4-6 for 58 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So this is what we expect. We expect Ridder not to play. Now he could be in there for a series, but the underlying feeling is that he will not play, and Taylor Heineke will be the starter. Now, we need to see that. We also don't think that their first round pick possible star running back Robinson is going to play either. So there is a battle to back up Robinson, and there is a feeling that that's all that Arthur Smith cares about right now is all these different running schemes, and he wants to test them out against the Steelers starters. We know that the Steelers roll off the hop while the Falcons don't. That's pretty much the situation that we're in. What up, Keith? Nice to see you. So, Mike M says, I expect Pittsburgh to win and cover over the entire game, but some uncertainty from me in the first half. So he's taking Pittsburgh minus 4.5. That's very interesting. Ronnie and Burgess says that 4.5 doesn't sit well with him. Steelers will try to win. I expect a lot of rushing in the second half like they did last week, trying to develop the O-line. Mally Mal says, do we only do friends and family tickets on certain days? We can start doing more of that, Mally Mal. We have not done one since we cashed the 12-1. Equinimus says he can see the Steelers winning by a field goal. Ronnie and Bergia, again, it's imperative to succeed with our team to know which cappers are from what cities and what they excel at, and it's really helpful. And Ronnie and Bergia, Pittsburgh guy, says there were rumblings here in Pittsburgh that Dubas would find Austin Matthews here. I don't know about that shit, man, but It's not like you guys have extra cash hanging around when you're paying a bunch of 40-year-olds double-digit millions a year. So, Lucas Ryan says, just sat down at the River City Casino on my off day. If I win 50 or more, I'll gift memberships. Leche, I love it. I love it. So let's build a game script. Now, Mike feels uncertain that uncomfortable in the first half. And that's where I feel more comfortable. I also think that the under is the play. I think the under is the play now after talking it out more and seeing the market move towards the under. We know that the Steelers just played the Bills to a first half and full game over. But here, I know that Tomlin understands he can win without putting too much into it. We know that the starters are going to be there early. And we know that the most important thing for Arthur Smith is probably the backup running back behind Robinson. Now, he also just laid an egg in front of the home fans. So I do expect them to try in the second half. So why would the Steelers not be able to, with their starters out there, go down the field and score with Kenny Pickett right off the hop, which would give us the opportunity to live bet the under. Wine Time Sports has a small play on the under 38.5. So let's just see what would be offered right now in NFL preseason. The 38.5 is at minus 110, and the first half is at minus 3.5. I think that is the most telling. Here. I really do. I think there's nothing more telling than the fact that line is over a field goal. Remember, this whole game opened at minus 2.5. So I expect the Steelers to take care of business early, and I expect the under to also cash. I think that we'll see a similar situation from the Falcons that we saw last week. Arthur Smith not caring very much, but he'll want to see a better performance from Heineke. So with all that being said, Scotty Wap looking at Pittsburgh from 1 to 13. And I feel you, Ronnie and Bergie, my man. Of course, with Dubas there, that you're going to be linked to Maple Leafs, especially Maple Leafs from his tenure over and over again. It's all good, my man. No, I want to hear what I always want to hear your thoughts. Okay, so let me tell you here. I think I figured out what I want to do. I wish it's pretty interesting here. I almost feel like they're begging you to take that minus a half at plus 100. Look at the money line. Money line's minus 185 for the first quarter. When do you see a minus 185 money line with a minus a half plus 100? I'm going to move on the under 38.5. Then the question becomes, do I also move on the first quarter minus a half at plus 100 for the Steelers? And, obviously the books have limits for these games, but it does seem almost too easy. But Pickett's been doing anything he pleases off the top, and we heard that it's important to get off to a strong start so Tomlin can just, figure things out. So I am moving on the under 38.5, and I may be moving on the first quarter minus a half at plus 100. Joe Yurgov says it's tough to cover this many points with a lower than low scoring game. Yeah, the market expects the Steelers to cover the first half and that the 4.5 line is a sharp line full game. That's what we see. I think that the idea that the Falcons care very much about who's going to be backing up Bijan means that they're going to be using all sorts of run schemes, and Arthur Smith will probably relish the opportunity to run against the sum of the Steelers starting defense. There you go. That's my plan. Under 38.5 will be bet. And then the question is, do I also move on the Steelers first quarter minus a half at plus 100? Arthur Smith cannot be happy with how the Falcons handled themselves when they were in Bengals territory. I mean, it was pretty ugly. I mean, they were dominating that game, really. And yet, it was 13-13. Okay. There we go. Ron Crawford has moved KBO spreadsheet play of the day. Kia minus 135. Ron Crawford, you are a beauty. Let's move on to game 2 here. This is fun. 8 p.m. Eastern, the Indianapolis Colts 1-1, 0-1 on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles 0-1, 0-1 at home. We're at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 73 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 10 mile per hour winds. And Mikey M is on the preseason play today. Colts first half minus 2.5. I like that look on the Colts very, very much. I like that look on the Colts very, very much. And I'm very interested to see what happens here. There's a lot going on in this football game. Sorry about that. Just had to let Ella know that she needs to keep it down a little bit. Okay, we have Shane Steichen. So we know that Steichen has an extremely difficult job in front of him as the new head coach for the Colts. He was the Eagles' offensive coordinator. This team has a lot of parts from either team, especially in their coaching brass. Shane Steichen, first preseason. Nick Sirianni does not care about the preseason. We know that. That's the most clear thing. Mike Kemp says, don't be surprised if Eagles lose a game, but pick up Jonathan Taylor before the weekend is finished. That would shock me. That would absolutely shock me. With a team with DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, and Trey Sermon, that would absolutely shock me. Hunter's got to run, so he's given us some. I love where you're going with Armstrong as an opener. He's been absolutely. He's allowed a run in one of his last 14 appearances. I like what you're doing there, and I will copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that. Ron Crawford, NFL spreadsheet play day is the Eagles +5. Joe says that they could trade a couple of those running backs for Taylor. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that is a legitimate thing here. I apologize for my family fighting in the background, but look. I can't do anything about it. Okay. NFL spreadsheet play today is locked in from Ron Crawford, and Mike M is on the first half Colts at -2.5. 6-0 is our man Mikey M's action. Okay, thank you, Kong's Clips. The problem is I can hear it, and I need to stay focused here. Okay, let's get back to work here. So we got Mike M's action and Ron Crawford's action. Let's move over to the line history here. Mike M says Taylor has till Tuesday to get a deal done. Only 3 teams have made reasonable offers. One of those teams happens to be Mike M's Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's take a look at the line history here. We'll start with this total. This total is sitting at 38. And it opened right where it is right now. Now, there was a move to the under. The over became plus money yesterday, and it was plus money until this morning. This morning, there's been a move towards the over. We've had 8 cents of movement at Pinnacle this morning on the over, sitting at 38, but sitting exactly where it opened. From a point spread scenario, we see a move at some spots towards the 5. The Colts at -4.5 is now -113. For the 5s, you probably Bet Chris has moved it to 5. So Bet Chris, bookmaker, Bet Online's moved it to 5. Heritage has moved it to 5. Wow. Okay, so we've had some big boys move this to 5. Pinnacle has that 4.5 juiced. 4.5 juiced. Okay, so here we go. Oh, let's take a look at the cash flow before we break down our possible game script. It's even on the total. 47% of tickets, 45% of the cash on the under. So the public slightly on the over. And on the spread, we have 82% of the tickets on the Eagles and 73% of the cash on the Eagles. And yet this line keeps moving towards the Colts. The big story that came out of this game was the brawl at practice on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, they had to cut the practice short. Does that mean that there's going to be a little more feeling at the line of scrimmage? It's still a preseason game. So I don't know how caught up I want to. Before I would say, oh, they're practicing against each other, they don't like each other, but still, it's fucking preseason, and we know that there's been issues with the, Irsay battling the brass of the Eagles, and he went out and got Shane Steichen from him. Steichen has made 2023 fourth overall pick Anthony Richardson the starting quarterback. That is nerve-wracking. They plan to play all of their starters. Last week against the Bears, they got a lot more because that joint practice on Tuesday was cut after 2 hours. Last week against the Bears, they were able to get a ton of work in during the week in practice, which they didn't get this week. How long will we see Anthony Richardson out there? I cannot imagine him being out there for 3 series. I can't. Maybe he's out there for 1 or 2. And then Indy will have Minshew and Ellinger. So you'll have Sam Ellinger and you'll have Minshew. And Minshew looked very good last week. 13 of 15 for 107 yards, 1 touchdown. Ellinger, 9 of 14 for 124 yards. And we know that Sirianni does not care. So there will be no Jalen Hurts, no A.J. Brown, no Devonta Smith, and no DeAndre Swift. Marcus Mariota, we know he's the backup. He's looked atrocious. He knows that. Does he care? Is Tanner McKee capable? Tanner McKee's looked much better than him. Is Tanner McKee capable of taking that backup job away from Mariota? No, he just isn't. Mariota was 7 of 11 for 58 yards in the first game. He looked bad, and he looked just as bad last week. 9 of 17 for 86 yards and a pick. So we do know that the Eagles are trying to figure out who's going to be their backup running back. We know that they have much more depth on the line. And we know that Nathan Richardson is going to be starting 1 or 2 series. At this point, do we really believe that Nathan Richardson with all of this, or sorry, Anthony Richardson with all of this pressure behind him is able to move the offense that much better than Minshew? I don't know if we do. Joe Yerkovich says the first half money line is greater than the full game money line on the Colts. Let's take a better look at that. That's a fascinating angle if that is the case. Wow. So the first half money line is minus 230. Wow. The Colts is minus 200 and full game's minus 200. That's just absolutely wild. That is so wild. And somehow, and not somehow, I mean, focusing on, when to get the line at the right time. Mike got the minus 2.5 because that's not available here. Let's just go to the first half line spreads and see when that 2.5 was available. There still are no, they're not even 3s available. Let's go. I can't do the line history here at Pinnacle for some reason, but I can at BetChris and BetOnline. BetOnline didn't open up the first half till this morning. Heritage, same here at 3.5. So it must have been a FanDuel or DraftKings spot that he got the first half. Oh, here we go right here. My bookie opened it at minus 2.5, moved it to minus 1.5, and then moved it to minus 3 at night. So there was opportunities to get that first half 2.5. Okay. Nasty Nate parlayed the Colts first half money line and the Steelers first half money line. That's a very interesting way of doing it. Troy Torrance says some respected people think Anthony Richardson has the highest upside at the quarterback position. Troy says, Justin, it don't matter who's running the ball for the Eagles. Their O-line is elite. Jonathan Eam, don't worry, man. We got another game next Wednesday, our final one for this round. And we just loved you being part of the poker game. So, and Mike Henry says, I think Richardson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. DC Capper on the Colts, -5. We saw what happened, when I thought the Falcons were going to smash the Bengals. That was very wrong. Now, fortunately, we wrote the entire game script for the Panthers-Giants game, and it worked out exactly like we wanted. Not only did we cash with that 21-19 New York Giants win, but we cashed live on the Panthers at plus 9.5 and plus 13.5. So what is the script here? Anthony Richardson going to have one or two series. We think he's going to, I am hesitant to move on the first half of minus 3.5. I think that maybe if we do think the Colts are going to look good early, it'd be the minus a half in the first quarter at plus 100 for both. And then, it's going to slow down late. The game will slow down late. All right, there's Tom Miggins in the house. I guess I feel like, and then we have, the spreadsheet play today on the Eagles plus 5, Mike M on the Colts first half. And we've had the move back to the over today. Maybe with the way I feel like, even though Tanner McKee's looked good, Mariota's looked so bad. He's clearly just not trying that hard, and they're not pushing him to succeed. And we know what Mariota has to do. Mariota has to risk his life to get a first down. This is not a guy who can sit in the pocket and make the right read and the right pass. So, with all that said, I guess I'm going to need to sit with this one longer. I do not feel as comfortable thinking that Anthony Richardson in this first squad's just going to go out there and roll. So, you know what? I don't have I need to sit with this game longer. I'm hesitant to. I'm not going to sit here and say Anthony Richardson in that first unit for the Colts are just going to take care of business early. Now, clearly, that's what the market thinks, and Joe Yurkovich made that very, very important notice that the Colts money line first half minus 230, full game minus 200. Pitt money line parlay in Indiana and Indianapolis first half money line parlay. So Pitt money line with Indiana first half for Joe Yurkovich. Dave Redling said the Colts could hardly beat the stinking Bears. How the hell are they going to beat the Eagles by 5? Give me a break. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm not moving at this point on Colts Eagles. I'm going to need to sit with this longer. The under 38.5, I'll be moving on in Pittsburgh, Atlanta. And then the Steelers first quarter minus a half at plus 100. I'm close to, and I'll tweet it out if I move on it. And then we have NFL games tomorrow that we'll be capping. We have a lot of football on tomorrow's show. All right. There you go. I'm sorry I only have moves on one of those 3 games. I did not think that was going to be the situation here. Ronnie and Bergia says, if any of my books give me a plus 5, he will be on the Birds. And he's talking about the Eagles, not the Falcons. All right, let's roll on. Vale Gotti agreeing with David's thoughts here. Mohair says, preseason, I don't think Eagles care about this game. Well, we know that. We know that the Eagles don't care about this game. But when the reserves come in the second half, we know that the Eagles reserves, offensive line, defensive line, second, third stringers are much better than the Colts' second and third stringers. And we know that Tanner McKee is out there watching Mariota look bad. And he's got to be thinking, oh, I might be able to take this spot from him. Now, he won't, but he's got to be thinking that. All right, let's move on to MLB. A 6-6 day yesterday, which after opening 0-4, I took. The last little while of pre-show bets have been atrocious, and that's fine. That's what happened last year. Last year, my ROI on pre-show bets were negative, and my ROI on bets that I made with you guys was like the best I've ever had in my life, probably in any sport, post-show bets, probably in any sport. And if that's going to happen again, I will relish it, because when you see my MLB record pop up, You won't want to listen to me, or you'll want to listen to me just to fade me. And it's embarrassing, and it sucks, man. But it is what it is, and nothing I can do about it. But I can be inspired by today's MLB co-host, Jose Bouquett, because his record was in the fire. It was in the fire, and he reached in, he put a blanket around his record, and he pulled it out of the smoke. And then he breastfed it with his vanilla creamy tits. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you? Oh, no, not again. All right, let's get Jose out. Okay. Jesus Christ. All right. I'm sure he was talking about his tits. I'm sure he said, reclaim James thinks he's having a bad hair day. I'm sure he said, well, the record was not where I wanted it to be, but I dug deep and I started winning, and it felt good. It felt good to win.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Max having a bad day today. It's nice to see you, though. My tits are here. They're accounted for. Have some action. Tweeted some out. Going to add some more out there. Had a good day yesterday, so we're going to fucking do this together. Loyally.
Well.
I've already added that play.
I can't believe that you didn't join me on the Orioles yesterday. 7-0.
We can say it. I'm a pussy. You guys can say it. It's all right, but I'm on them today. So that's all that matters right now.
Oh, no.
And I know. Don't even say it, because I know when I thought of this, I made the bet. I was like, God damn it, if they fucking lose. I'm going to be so fucking sick. But it's fine. I've already thought about it. I know there's a lot of pressure on that Orioles bet today. I know.
There is.
Yeah.
There is a lot of pressure on that Orioles bet today, but that is not where we start.
Before we start, can we give a quick cheap plug here real quick to our friends today at the Unmuted Mic? I'm sure they'd appreciate.
Love that. Yes.
Yeah, let's give them they have a show today with this woman right here.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you need sustenance?
Are you hungry, my love?
So that's a lovely lady that's joining them here today. Lil Haley, something like that. I forget what her @name is on Twitter. If you guys want to do some research.
Do you have multiple picks?
I do. I just don't have them uploaded.
Upload them.
Okay. All right. So give me a second while we talk, I guess, Nationals? Or who are we starting with? Yeah, Nationals.
Oh, God. Mike M's trying to ruin this. Mike M, don't do that, man. You're not going to be able to ruin this. Oh, God. Just saw the record out of the corner of my eye. Just fucking the most embarrassing record I've had live. And not only does it hurt the show, but it hurts my family, Jose.
Yes, we take this shit very seriously.
If that record stays, you won't hear them fighting outside. And you'll see me shooting from a new location.
That's true. But hold on. Let's cheer you up a little bit. Are you hungry?
You look so hungry. How hungry are you?
You seem famished. So there you go. There's Babby Cab and Dave Rogers' guest today. So if you guys are interested, go tune into that. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure they'll have a great conversation. I don't know whose tits are bigger, those Sonny or hers. So it's a good litmus test. Good litmus test. We have no idea.
All right. Yes, Dapper Capper. That is really happening. God damn. Should I just leave? I could leave.
Yeah. I mean, Parkdale. How far is Parkdale from where you are? Maybe you need to just go back to that apartment for the MLB segments.
Oh, God. I don't know what to tell you, man. Unfortunately, the most important part of our show, the only lock we have, is honesty and transparency. So, all right. But I don't know. It is what it fucking is. It's not what I want. Last year was a great winning season in MLB, and we had a great winning season in NFL. We won 11 straight months last year. I don't know what to tell you, man, but it's happening, and it fucking sucks. All right, let's get to work. Let's get to work here. Let's go. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals 58-69, 29-33 on the road at the New York Yankees, 61-65, 36-32 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Did you hear that Garrett Cole was going to be the primary at one point?
No. I know that baby back bitch would never do that.
Okay.
Yeah, he's too like routine oriented, so I'd never expect him to ever use an opener there.
All right. Well, let's go into this right now and start with the weather. Let's start with the weather. We have in the Bronx right now 73 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour right to left, and very slightly, and opens up at 6.5, closes at 5.9 miles per hour. Thank you, Strategic Investments. It's embarrassing, and it keeps me up at night, and it's happening. But thank you for the kind words. Plus 1% home runs, minus 15% doubles and triples, minus 4% overall runs, minus 4% overall runs. I could have bet this at even money on the -1 line, and I chose not to, Jose. I chose not to.
Yeah, Yankees against lefties just seem to be that auto bet. It's the only thing they can hit.
Patrick Corbin has been very, very good. How are the Boston Red Sox against lefties?
Not good. I've seen them. I don't know off the top of my head, but I've seen them recently when I'm just doing the little research for this. It's just been random lefties, just been dicing up the Red Sox recently. So I'll tell you, this month against lefties, 24th, 72 weighted runs created plus for the Red Sox. So they obviously have been shit.
So he shut them down very easily in his last start.
Mm-hmm.
The start before that, he shut down the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia. How are they against lefties? They smash
Phillies against lefties this month, 7th, 131 weighted runs created plus. But the Phillies are also schizophrenic, so.
And that includes Patrick Corbin shutting them down and Yusei Kikuchi shutting them down. So they've destroyed the other lefties.
Yeah.
So
it helps when their shortstop gets his fucking head out of the fucking gutter.
Mike M says Nationals road run line spot 22-9. Mike King run line spot 1-10, but Corbin 2-25 under spot today, coming off a spot with 7+ Ks. Patrick Corbin on the road's been bad this year. 4.92 ERA, 258 opponents batting average. That start against the Phillies was on the road. The start against the Red Sox was at home. Michael King is your opener. We last saw him on Sunday, August 20th. He went 1 1/3, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and 6-5 loss at home versus the Red Sox. And then we have Brito. I don't have Brito's numbers up because RotoWire had listed Garrett Cole as the primary. What is your stats on Brito this year, last start?
Well, I think he's just going to work better as a opener kind of guy for those Yankees here. Last appearance was against my Red Sox. He got fucking destroyed. 2 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of them earned. That was starting. And then he came out of the bullpen against the Miami Marlins. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. No walks. Just seems like he's a better fit for the follower role, I guess. But I like the Yankees here, so that's what he's done in his last 2 appearances.
Why did you not bet them last night 60 cents cheaper?
Because we were in the middle of boozing in the poker tournament, unfortunately, so I didn't even look at the lines. And I didn't have a line last night, actually, now that I'm looking at it, because I wrote down, my overnight lines for what I did have, and this is not one of them I had. So I actually didn't even have this available. But the booze, the poker, and not having a line all contribute to that, I guess. I
had this available, and it was even cheaper at oh wow. So this morning opened up at -166 at Pinnacle at 8:03 a.m. It was -160 at 2 a.m. at Bet365. And then there was this giant move to the Yankees. And we've heard from Troy Torrance's database about when these home favorites have a huge move in their favor, how they dominate.
Yeah, and the money's all over them.
The last few days, have destroyed line moves, and it has done squat fucking zilch for me. This total opened up at 8.5, got up to 9, dropped 8.5, up to 9, dropped 8.5, back at 9 right now. We had a move to the over, but the under is very juiced at 9, so it's not as big as it looks. But it's not a legitimate half-run move to the over. And we have a huge move to the New York Yankees. Let's pull up the cash flow then for this spot. Here we go. We have 85% of tickets, 87% of cash on the New York Yankees. And we have 60% of tickets, 54% of the cash on the over. Take it away, Jose. Are you moving now?
Yeah, probably not. I think the line's just a little too expensive. -1 is not cheap. I haven't done the calculations on it yet, but overall, I didn't really want anything to do with this game. I do like the over, sort of, but I haven't moved on it, and I don't think I will. So it's just a kind of easy pass game for me, but absolutely an over because, like we mentioned, the Yankees crush lefties. We talked about their numbers against them yesterday. The best this month against them is the only thing they can hit. So if it's a righty on the mound, you bet against the Yankees. If it's a lefty on the mound, you bet it for the Yankees. So.
DC
By the
Cap,
way,
DC Cap. Oh, say
go
what?
ahead. I was gonna. Sorry, we keep going over each other. But I was gonna say, Nate said that you keep missing some comedic gems in the chat with all your notes. Comedic gems.
I apologize, and I will try to keep a closer eye on it here. And I would be happy to come to the show with no notes whatsoever and just read out the hilarious stuff from the chat anytime you want it. And also we can do a live stream where I only read out stuff from the chat anytime you guys want. Because it's painstaking writing these notes.
Yes, it is.
All right. Look, I could have got them at -160, and the -1 line would have been even money, and I didn't even want it then. Also, of course, I wanted it. I just cashed on them yesterday, and I know that's playing. I know it's a bias in my head, and I try to stay off of that when it happens. So
I feel the same way about the over too.
I'm off. Troy has no faith in Brito. Would it surprise you if Corbin continues to pitch really well?
A little, just because of the Yankees' numbers being so good against lefties. But if I didn't know the numbers against lefties for the Yankees, no, because the Yankees are horrible.
And Nasty Nate says you let Jose get away with him saying he was boozing with you. No, I did think about his Kiwi Peach schnapps, but I'm just so fucking angry with the state of my record that it clouds my. I no longer think anything's funny, and I want to just smash something and find the nearest ditch and get a bottle of Kraken and call it a day. Let's move on, Jose.
Are you hungry?
Well, I guess so. I guess I am. Yeah. Yes, I am. All right, let's move on. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. The Colorado. Oh, look at that. Mike M. New York Yankees 19-0 since July 2021 when a favor of -180 after 9+ runs scored. All right, here we go. Colorado Rockies 48-78, 20-45 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays, 77-51, 42-22 home. We're at the Trop in St. Petersburg, Florida. Sure would have been nice if the Rockies could have held on to the game yesterday.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. All I needed to do was hit that first 3+ a half and have a juicy 7-5 day. But all I needed was 2 more outs, and then a Rosa Reina goes yard. Okay, Peter Lambert versus Sean Armstrong. We've heard from Hunter Engelhart on the Nerfy here. Sean Armstrong is pitching very, very well. He's got a 0.81 whip this year, 41 strikeouts and 7 walks. He's allowed 1 jack. His last appearance on Tuesday, another scoreless appearance. It was here against the Rockies, 2 strikeouts over 1 inning. 13 of his last 14 appearances have been scoreless. He's been very, very good. Let's pull up the line history here for this Rays spot. And the books have Armstrong as the starter, right? Let me just make sure that.
Yes, and Erasmo Ramirez is probably going to be the primary behind him, is what I'm assuming.
Yes, it says that Erasmo Ramirez is going to be the primary. I saw that as well, but they also had Garrett Cole. But this total is sitting at 8.5. Slightly juiced to the under. Very slightly juiced to the under. My bookie, on the other hand, has a juice to the over. This opened up at 8.05 this morning, under 8.5 minus 101. And there's been a 6 cent move to the under, but there had been 7 cents. It came back a little bit about 12 minutes ago. So we have a move to the under. Let's go over to the money line here for this one. And Lambert's been good. He's been good. God, why is this on total? Sorry, let me just move this over. He's been good, and he's been good on the road. We'll go over all those numbers here. And this is a huge line for the Rays. These Rays open up minus 226. They're now minus 270. So just like the Yankees, we have this huge 44-cent move towards the home squad in the Rays. So we have a slight move to the under and a move towards the Rays. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. On the total, 32% of tickets and 74% of cash on the under. No movement there. And then on the money line, we have 15% of the tickets and 75% of the cash on the Rockies. I'd be curious to see what they have for the spread as well. So let's just take a look at that. They have on the minus 1.5, 16% of the tickets, or sorry, on the plus 1.5, let's go there. 16% of tickets, 40% of cash on the Colorado Rockies. Mike M says MLB teams after a loss playing a minus 200 favorite with a number of minus 200 last game and extra innings 5-0, winning by over 2 runs. Look at Alfred 44, the Epstein Island play today. Rays minus 1.5. Epstein Island play of the day. That's a new one from Alfred 44.
The shoe fits.
I'll pop that right there.
The shoe fits. By the way, I'm going to join Hunter with his Nerfy. Minus 115 for me.
Yeah, I like it. And let's talk about Lambert. He's coming off that great start at home versus the White Sox. Just allowing a solo shot over 7 innings. He was also very good on the road this year. 3.60 ERA, just 5 home runs allowed over 35 innings. There's DJ Big Boss. Big Boss here. We've talked about his appearance on our show tomorrow. Big Boss in the chat. Coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Rockies rating 252, 757 OPS versus righties. Does it concern you at all that the Rays are ripping the leather off the ball against righties right now?
Yeah, I obviously am a little worried that our guy Peter Lambert is coming off of 2 pretty good starts too as well. I mean, can we really expect him to go 3 straight starts to pitch well? That's the main concern there. And you're right, 144 weighted runs created plus this month for the Rays against righties.
They're smashing. They get the diddler out of the clubhouse and they start smashing,
Crazy how life can just come at you that fast. You just diddle multiple women, I guess, and then one posts on social media, and then your life's turned upside down.
I think the issue was they weren't quite women yet, and I believe Britney Spears had a song about it.
True. Britney Spears have a song about everything, huh?
I wouldn't know what the fuck am I talking about, but I know that she had one. Okay. Well, now the White Sox, what are their numbers against righties in the last month? I could pull it up from yesterday's worksheet. Let me here because the White
Colorado against righties, I can tell you right now.
No, the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, the White Sox against righties.
Yeah.
25th, 84 weighted runs created plus this month.
So Lambert shut them down. That's something that should. The way Lambert's throwing right now, I mean, even in the thin air, that was a 14-1 game. I was on the under in that game, and they score. White Sox score 1 run, and I lose the under 12. let's just take a look at who Lambert's been going against, because he's very confident right now. He only allowed 3 runs at the Dodgers. We know what they're doing. Yeah, I like the Nerfy. I like the Nerfy, and then why wouldn't we also like the first half under in this?
I definitely just wrote that down myself. I will admit though, the Rays numbers against righties do scare me, and Lambert here against the White Sox, he pitched well, but they suck against righties, and against the Dodgers before that, 3 earned runs, which I think is a good start for them. They're not hitting righties all that well, so I don't know. I like the Nerfy. I'm already going to move on the Nerfy, but I'm back and forth on the first 5 under here. That's the worry here. But the market at least makes you feel better, Jimmy. I mean, 31% of the bets and 74% of the money on the under in this game already. Definitely has me back and forth on it here. But I think I want to add it, but I'm a little hesitant.
Saturated. Oh man. All right. I agree with you guys. I think the Nerfy is, it's a smooth look. It's a smooth look. I would like to see what it is here at Bet365 if I need to send it in. Minus 125. It'll be much cheaper at Penny. And
minus
then
115.
That first 5 opened up at 5. It opened up at 5.
I mean, did it? Yeah. Okay.
You have to think that them putting that line out at 5, all the money would have come in on the under right away. Now, thank God they moved it to 4.5, but doesn't that make you think that all the money is going to be on the under immediately?
Yeah, and it is 31% of the bets, or 70-some% of the money there.
But that first 5, I mean, we don't have numbers on what the first 5 is, but putting it at 5 is just.
I have 4.5 at evens now, and that's what I figured it was at 5 before.
Yeah. All right. Billy thinks Lambert deals today. All right.
Billy, I'll put my faith in your hands here, and I'll take the under 4.5 here at even money. So I've doubled up there. Nerfy minus 115 for me, and under 4.5 minus 1. Under 4.5 even money.
Yeah, like that first 3 under 2.5 is juice to the over.
Well, Mike's shitting our parade here, saying Tampa Bay win a fave at home, or win a fave of minus 200 or more, 12-1 to the over.
Our guy Kelly McInnes in the house. What up, Kelly?
Shout out, Kelly.
Team total under. What was that number, Billy? Something just doesn't feel right here. And I'm gonna let it go. There's just I could easily just join you guys on this, but the fact that they would open up that first 5 at 5, with Lambert throwing the way he is and Sean Armstrong opening, I mean that's just it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now maybe
I got scared off by Mike's stats, so I'm not taking the first 5 under. I'll just stick with my Nerfy.
All right. I thought that I was going to move on this, and I don't think I am anymore. Something just isn't right.
That's why I'm hoping we can just get out with the Nerfy, getting it out quick, and then move on.
Billy Friedrichs.
Sorry, Billy. I'm sorry. I got
you jumped off there pretty quick, man.
I got quick feet. Nuflush, by the way, dropping a little Colorado team total.
He's asking what it is.
What is
here.
it?
Let's pull it up.
Our friends at Bovada, you can get a 3.5 plus 115.
3.5 at plus 115, and I'll take a look at what it is over at Penny. Can you talk to us about Erasmo Ramirez, who will be coming in second?
Sure, I'll bring up his fan graphs right now. And I feel bad for jumping off the Billy train that quickly, but that is how that happens, unfortunately.
What was your over 3.5 for the team total at Bovada?
Plus 115.
Okay, yeah, plus 124 at Pinnacle. Same at Bookmaker.
Well, first 5 team totals 1.5 minus 105. Sheesh. That's crazy.
Okay. Let's move on. And I don't know what to do with this next spot. I mean, it's certainly not. So, the continuation game. Is that continuation game? How are they handling this? So, do you think Pepio and Gavin Williams are going to be in the continuation game for the
No,
Dodgers?
I think that's game 2. I have that as game 2. In the continuation game, they'll just throw in whoever. You're actually giving lines for that game, and I saw it at like minus 600 for the Dodgers. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that Pepio Lambert is game 2.
Okay, well, let's cap
Pepio Williams.
Let's cap the fresh game until we know we have a better idea of who's going in for that one. And that this is a Ron Crawford spreadsheet dog, Cleveland at plus 125. Pepio is going to be the primary. Do we know then? Let's see. What have the books done with this? Let me just see what they have done here at Bet365. It's so Pepio Williams is game 2. And then we'd have to go to the live in game. Okay, so let's break this down here. This is now we're kind of going out of order here. It was just the way it was listed, but and I apologize. So we'll get back into the right order with Red Sox Astros next. Let's talk about this spot here. We'll open up with the weather. Here. 79 Fahrenheit, 9.2 miles per hour to right field. Stays between 9.2 and 7.9 miles per hour. Let's move over to a Ballpark Pal then for their expectations of Cleveland. Progressive Field's the most offensive ballpark here, but the home run numbers at Guaranteed Rate Field for Oakland Chicago White Sox are disgusting. The highest I've seen all year, plus 53%. But Progressive Field has a higher overall runs. There's 4 parks here in double-digit runs: PNC, Oriole, Guaranteed Rate Field, and Progressive Field. Progressive Field plus 29% home runs, plus 16% doubles and triples, and plus 23% runs. Extremely offensive weather. Pepio versus Gavin Williams here. Rocco Rogers liking Dodgers here. I think it's imperative to see what the hell goes on in that game 1 before you really feel like you have an angle in game 2. Pepio has started 1 game here in the majors. And I don't know why he hasn't been called up earlier. I really don't. 3rd round pick in the 2019 draft out of Butler. Last year, he came up to the show and he looked very good. 36 in the 3rd. He walked way too many batters, but he went 3-0 with a 3.47 ERA, 42 strikeouts. Look, he walked 27 batters and 36 in the 3rd, but still, he looked like he belonged. So then he goes back to Oklahoma City, and he was good in Oklahoma City. Now, he wasn't as good as he was in 2022. He was dominant down there, 9-1, 2.56 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. In 2023 in Oklahoma City, he was just a 22 and 2/3 inning sample size. He's dealing with injuries. So I guess that's exactly why he wasn't up earlier, because they could have used him just dealing with an injury. Jojo Rich is leaning to the first 5 under here. And they're saying that the suspended game just started. It did. Well, let me just make sure I've got it up here. Let me just get it here so I can watch it. Let's go. Be some nice live action available. I've got commercial break. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. Resumed at 12:10. Thank you, MacMan. Okay, so then who is? All right, let me just. Sorry, you guys. This is just a confusing situation here with this game continuing, and so that means that Varland is on the mound and Sandlin is on the mound. It's extremely offensive. Mike M says they're pitching change in Colorado now. What? No, I don't have a pitching change in Colorado. Does anybody have it? Okay, so back to this spot here. Gavin Williams, with the velocity he has and this extreme over weather, it might be a game that goes over here. Pepio's not going to be the starter. They're going to go deep into their bullpens. Dodgers versus righties, 267, 752 OPS in August. Guardians, 259, 712. At home this year, Gavin Williams has a 3.58 ERA and 37 strikeouts with a 241 opponent's batting average. And both bullpens have been so good in August. They've been so good, but they're going to go pretty deep into their pen. So let's just take a look. We talked about what the weather is. Let's take a look at the cash flow and then, of course, of the line history, and then decide how we are going to move forward. Pull this up here. On the money line right now for Game 2, Pepio versus Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams is sitting at plus 122. We already heard Ron Crawford liking the spot for Cleveland. They opened up at plus 119. They got up to plus 128 and have now dropped back to plus 122. So there's been 3 cents of movement to the LA Dodgers. And from a total perspective, the first 5 is at 5, but Pinnacle has moved it to 4.5. Pinnacle moved it to 4.5 40 minutes ago. 40 minutes ago, they moved it to 4.5. Now it's juiced to the over. And then from a full game perspective, this, if this game stays relatively low scoring here, I would like this over in the game too. Even with Gavin Williams out there, they're probably going to be left in too long. They're going to need to go deep because of the amount of pitchers that are going to be used from the bullpen here. This opened up at 9 minus 112 to the over. It got bet down at first. It's now getting bet back up. Let's take a look at the cash. It's exactly where it opened though. But we have 82% of the tickets, 89% of cash on the over. And, it's now back to where it was. 78% tickets, 81% of cash on the Dodgers, and only a 3 cent move to them. Okay, take it away for us here, Jose. Sorry about that long, poor breakdown. Game 2 for this Dodgers Guardian spot, Progressive Field. Take it away.
I like the under. I like the first 5 under. Already moved on it. First 5 under 5 minus 120. Gavin Williams, we all know, is a good young pitcher. Said okay starts in his last. Well, I guess his last start was okay. His start before that was really good. 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs against the Tigers. I kind of expect better from him, but maybe that's just me. At Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run before that, 10 Ks, no walks as well. I think the Dodgers are vulnerable here. I think they're vulnerable, at least offensively, against righties. Our guy, Pete Lambert, who we just talked about very extensively, shut down these Dodgers, shut down in his sense, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs off 2 home runs there. And I think, I'm a little worried that might be more of a case of the Dodgers being bad against righties or average against righties more than Pete Lambert shoving. We'll find out that here soon, hopefully. But they're 14th this month, 103 weighted runs created plus against righties. I just think that Gavin Williams can go out there and pitch well. And we've talked about like major league starting pitchers, and they get called down and then they get called back up for that start or that a chance again. Pepio is one of those guys. He just shoved in his last AAA start, 6 2/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, 11 Ks, no walks. And I think the Guardians are just bad enough offense for him to go up there and eat. I know the park factors are going crazy today, but fuck your humidity, fuck your barometric, I can't say that word, pressure. I will continue to bet the under here. First 5 under 5 minus 120.
I get it. If this game 1 is a low scoring game, then I guess the bullpens won't be used that much, but they have to be. I mean, they're already using their,
What inning is it?
It's started at the top of the 4th.
I'm assuming those guys that are starting will go at least 4 innings. Like at least 3 to 4. Because I think that they think the same thing with you. They don't want to waste their bullpen on this game, especially if the Guardians are already down 3-1, I think. So.
All right. Jose's on the first 5 under 5 at minus 120. Makes me nervous. I guess it's not that hot, but my God, it's this offensive weather. I have some interest in the over, but I can understand you trusting Pepio and Gavin Williams. Maybe the situation is for a live over. Okay, let's move on. Jose has moved on the Nerfy in game one alongside Hunter Engelhart. Alfred 44's Epstein Island play of the day is a Rays -1.5. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet dog is Cleveland plus 125. Now, it's not the spreadsheet play of the day. Jose's on the first 5 under 5. All right, let's move on. Boston Red Sox at Houston Astros. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. We have Brian Bayo going up against JP France. Bayo versus France here at Minute Maid Park. Let's start with the line history here and then move into the total. We have Pinnacle putting JP France at -127. They opened at -115. The Astros got as high as -133. That was an 18-cent move towards them. They're now sitting at a 12-cent move towards them. A move to the Astros. From a total perspective, we have this sitting at 9. Slightly juiced to the under. This opened up over 9 -108. It's now now it's the over is now -105. So it's slightly juiced to the under. Very small move to the under, but a real legit move to the Houston Astros. The big booty Latina play of the day is the over 9. The stacks play of the day here is Kyle Tucker plus 135. And our guy, BJ, a 3-unit look on the Houston Astros. Market moving towards them. Market moving towards these Astros. Perky Sanderson says that the Astros money line is free money. Free money. I'm sure that is much to Creamy Tits' chagrin to hear that. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. We have, move back here. We have 51% of the tickets, 45% of the cash on Boston. Only 49% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Astros. The market really moving heavily towards them. This is the game. Oh, I guess not. The Yankees-Nats game is more. But there's a lot of action in on this game. This is the second most bet game on the card. Again, whether or not we trust these numbers is a decision we all have to make. 63% of the tickets, 79% of the cash is on the under. 63 and 79 on the under. Billy Friedrich says Bayo's the next Kerry Wood. Let's talk about a Bayo. And we know the term you're not allowed to use here on the show. You can save it for your own show. Bayo 9 and 7. I know why you like it with Brian Bayo. It's a lot of alliteration. Mm-hmm. Sounds very nice, but you can't use it here. 3.70 ERA, 1.26 whip, 100 strikeouts, and 119 and a third. His last start was a big bounce back performance. You were on him. Everybody was on him. And he delivered for you guys. 1 earned run over 6 innings. He was part of the sweep. They won 8-3 in that game. On the road, he struggled a little bit compared to what he's done at Fenway. 4.05 ERA. He's allowed 10 jacks on the road, 7 jacks at home. Opponents hitting 262 off him. JP France coming off a nice performance in a 2-0 loss at home to the Mariners. I was on him, and it didn't go well for me. Should have been just on the under. He's very professional. He's very consistent. 2.75 ERA, 1.21 whip. Doesn't get the strikeouts necessarily, but he gets soft contact. He struggled a little bit at home. He's really shoved on the road. 56 and a third at home, 3.51 ERA, 244 opponents batting average. Red Sox, 259, 767 OPS versus righties since August 1st, while the Astros just 243, 714. The issue has been the Red Sox bullpen, 5.64 ERA, while the Astros bullpen has been spectacular. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquett, your Boston Red Sox at Houston.
I bet it last night. I'm going to bet it again. Full game over 9, -110 for me as well. Already tweeted it out. I see what everyone is doing with the Astros, and I see the line moving their way, and I hear you. There's not even that much money on them, and it makes it feel like it's a very clear Astros spot. So admittedly, I do kind of want to move on the Astros because I would love to be a winning capper. But I don't know if I can get there, obviously, for stupid reasons. So I'm on the over 9 already, -110. It seems like Bayo gets touched up, but I don't trust JP France either. here. I think he's been solid, but I think the Red Sox get to him here. So hopefully they contribute to another over, because I've taken the overs in this game, I think, every game and cashed them, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it's been a nice little trend, I guess.
Okay, I'm on the board. I'm going to be on the Astros on the -1 line. I trust JP France, and it's not that I don't trust Bayo. Not at all. I don't. Bayo's a very good young pitcher, but it just feels like it's a nice price on the Astros at home, and I will be backing them here.
What'd you get price-wise for the -1?
I'm not sure. Let me take a look at what it. I mean, I would need to decide whether I put it in at Penny or here at Bet365.
Because again, I'm going to sit here and look at the Astros for a long time, and I'm just like, ugh, do I bet them or not? But I'm right now. I'm a no. By the end of the show, I might end up adding it to my card. But
I imagine it's like a +112 or +113 kind of a situation here. Wow, Mookie throwing out at home. So, 1777 Memorabilia believes this is a Boston spot. What is leading you towards the Astros? The idea that Bayo gets touched a bit.
Yeah, I think that Bayo has been susceptible. I think that Yankees start might have just been, and by +107 for me. Sorry, I was getting that. But it's I guess he's just hitting that rookie wall, basically. Him pitching well against the Yankees didn't really mean much to me. He dominates the Yankees. The Yankees are nothing. They're just gum on the bottom of everyone's shoe right now, so that's not very impressive. And I'm a little worried about that. And the Astros, like I said, Minute Maid Park's a house of hordes, and the Red Sox really this would go for a split here. A split against the Astros feels a lot better than going down 3-1 against the Astros. And on top of that, the next series for the Red Sox is so fucking gigantic. It's not even gigantic for like the team and standings wise. They're playing the Dodgers, and again, the Dodgers have like 14 former Red Sox, including one very good one that Rocco Rogers continues to cash out on. Rocco, I'm going to be joining you on those player props this weekend, but I just think the Red Sox have to show up offensively here, or else they're going to come into a storm of criticism going into this Dodgers series as well. Because again, a lot of former Red Sox on that very good Dodgers squad. So I like the over there, over 9. But I think I'm just market wise seeing BJ like Mike talking about their trends and stuff. I think I'm going to be on Houston -1.
Houston -1 for a possible spot for Jose.
Yeah.
It's not a bad number. It's like +112, +115, depending on where you get it. I'm going to be on Astros -1 as well. All right,
+107 for those keeping track at home. But yeah.
Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll on there. So just in review, Perky Sanderson on the Astros, Justin McElvey on Kyle Tucker, RBI, Jose on the Astros over 9, possibly adding the -1. I'm going to be on the -1. Londo on the over 9, and BJ on the Astros money line for 3 units. All right.
By the way, sorry for interrupting you real quick. Ohtani, obviously, that was the big news last night. That fucking devastated me. He's still going to hit. Allegedly, so we'll see about that. But did you see that number 2 in MVP odds was Kyle Tucker? Very interesting. I was shocked to see that.
He's been so good. He's just so clutch. He's
very good. I thought it was going to be Corey Seager, but obviously they have hit the shits recently as well. And by the way, I would just like to point out that the Rangers could still not make the playoffs. I'm still very alive in that bet as well. So that made me feel a little better about myself. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was pretty wild, and I know you have Bo Bichette MVP, I think so.
Oh, that's gone. That's gone. So I'm not going to get that right now. The Texas Rangers to not make the playoffs is back around where you bet it. Did you bet it at +300 or +350?
300.
It's at +320. Let's come all the way back. Okay, let's move on. The big one. Loyalty. Jose did play God yesterday and decide that he should not bet the Orioles when we were betting them every day together. And the Orioles dominated.
Yeah,
And now I'd prefer if Jose would just fuck off. We don't want your money here. We don't want you involved in our Orioles.
My money's not good here anymore. It doesn't spend.
Toronto Blue Jays 70-57, 38-30 on the road at the Orioles 78-48, 37-24 at home. Just a 2-game lead in the division. Viper MB is on Toronto, Baltimore over 8.5. You know what? That was such an important win. I do not want the Blue Jays to get any confidence. And now 8.5 back. This is their last game of the year against the Orioles. There's no concern now. And not that there would have been concern if this was 6.5, but what if the Jays swept the Orioles and made it 5.5? I would be very concerned. I would be very, very concerned. Wine Time Sports is on the Blue Jays money line here. And our guy Viper MB is on the over 8.5. Both the first 2 games have gone under. Mike M says they're just so bad versus the division. They are a very difficult team to be a fan of. They don't rise up in the most important moments. You know, they don't hit with runners on in scoring position. They don't beat their division rivals. They have a lot of fun. And Don Mattingly and Schneider tried to take away a little bit of the fun. And everyone's like, well, let them have fun. It's what they do. They have fun because they're, led by 2 rich kids in Bobo and Vladdy, 2 kids who had anything they ever wanted in life and didn't have to, work their asses off to get to where they are. Now, maybe they did work really hard, and Dante Bichette does not look like a loving, kind father.
He does not.
No, but Bo is a good kid, and it is what it is. Some kids have it all, and do they want it as bad as the kids who didn't have anything and fought their way to get the opportunities? That's up.
I will say also, Vladdy Sr. does not look like a good dad either.
What do you mean? Why would he be a bad dad?
Vladdy Sr., I can just feel it. He's not a good
feel
dad.
It? I mean,
I
just Dante does look intimidating, but Vladdy, God,
Vladdy looks like a great time, but when those closed doors, I can imagine that Dominican strength coming back.
I don't know where that's coming from. Billy thinks it's because he swings at everything. I don't know where that's coming from. All right, Jose Barrios going up against Kyle Gibson. The question here, Deacon. The question here is, can Gibson start pitching well again? He's not looked good for a little while. Barrios versus Gibson. Ronnie and Bergia says Bo's a good-looking kid. Don't let Slatsy hear that, because Slatsy's wife keeps a picture of Bo on her person at all times.
It's fair.
Let's take a look.
Do you think that Nutbush's wife does the same thing with Gabe Kapler?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, but I don't have that as facts. But yes, I would imagine that. 81 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour to left field. Stays between 8 and 6.4 miles per hour. Offensive expectation high at Oriole Park, plus 11% homers, plus 4% doubles and triples, plus 8% singles, and plus 13% runs. Plus 13% runs. Christopher Comtine says what? Yes, that's something that Slatsy has to deal with. His wife with a picture of Bo, and he's got that picture, oh God.
I respect it.
It's a fashion shot. It's a fashion shot. Let's get to the line history here for this one. We have Gibson and the Orioles sitting at minus 105. Minus 103. They opened at minus 105. They're now minus 103. That's it. Almost no movement. From a total scenario, we see this moving towards the under. This opened up at 8.5, juice to the over, and it quickly moved to 9. It moved to 9 within 9 minutes. And then that over 9 got to minus 106. So this line didn't open up till 8:01 a.m. By 9:41 a.m., this is a move to the over. The over is getting juiced. And then the brakes got hit. The under started getting bet. The over 9 got up to plus 105 before it moved to 8.5. It stayed at 8.5 until 11:37 a.m. when there was buyback on the over. So it's still, at this point, we do have some movement towards the over. Here we go. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. We have 53. It's a 50-50 spot. 47% of the tickets on the Orioles, 54% of the cash. Then you have 73% of the tickets and 74% of cash on the over. 73 and 74 on the over, and slight move to the over, but some definite back and forth. Nutflush Allen is moving on the Rockies team total over 3.5. Is moving on that team total at 3.5. Joe Yurkovich used our -1 calculator to give it a 3. Ron Crawford says Orioles spot. Now, I will be on the Baltimore Orioles, as unlike my co-host, I don't play God. I don't pick and choose when I think this bet should be made on some fucking whim that Jose has. I don't think I'm going to bet them today. I'm going to stay off today. Barrios, 9-8, 3.39 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. He's been pitching very good. What did you think of his performance it's the Reds, not the Red Sox. 5 2/3, 1 hit, 8 Ks, still 4 walks, but he's been very good. 5 4, 3.62 ERA, 74 Ks, 8 homers, 234 opponent's batting average on the road. Kyle Gibson has not looked good of late, and he's not looked good at home. 5.34 ERA, 284 opponent's batting average, but the Jays aren't hitting righties. Jays are hitting 218, 648 OPS versus righties since August 1st, and the Orioles are hitting righties hard, as they do. 271, 757 OPS, and both bullpens have been great. Mike M says, is that the debut of Jose's voice? No, I couldn't stop doing it all last night, Mike M, because Jose opened the show, the poker show, very low energy, and so a lot of us were doing Jose's voice. A lot of us were doing, got myself a kiwi peach schnapps here. I'll take a sip, pour a bit on my tits, take another sip. Tits, sip, tits, sip, tits, sip, tits, sip. Jose, take it away. Blue Jays, Orioles.
Don't even have to cap it. Orioles money line every day, no doubt. I'm not God. Just gonna bet it every day, no doubt. Right, Jimmy?
Look, I thought that you were a man of your word. That's what I thought, but I realized that's not the case.
By the way, the chat's been on fire today as well. Our guy Deacon, low volume, but he makes his shots when he takes them. He said you look skinnier wearing black, Jimmy. He also said that you might have to stick with it. So shout out to Deacon. Yeah, you look nice today, though. You look nice today. And shout out to I forgot who it was. Was it Billy Friedrich? I'm not sure who it was. He said that I know it was Joe Yurkovich. Craig Biggio looks like a great dad from him as well, which I also find very questionable as well, to be honest. In this game, I wish I could say Jose Barrios is worse on the road still. His home road splits is evened out. So he's been pretty good there. He pitched well against the Reds. Pitched well against these very Baltimore Orioles already once this year in Camden Yards. 7 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk there. I am hoping that the Orioles have learned from that experience and get after him in today. Kyle Gibson, we figure he always finds a way to get a quality start out there. I'm not sure how he does it. He's struggled in his last 2, but I think he can bounce back here today. So never a doubt, Orioles money line every day, obviously.
Let's just go over the batter versus pitcher situation. Although I'd be amazed if you could find a batter versus pitcher situation for Kyle Gibson that looks really good. What do we know about the Blue Jays? We know they're simply not hitting righties. Vladdy Guerrero is not having a good season, and he needs to be an MVP. Bo Bichette started heating up. In that Dodgers series, he looked like an absolute monster, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, and now he's got to start again from zero. Against Barrios, Baltimore, McCann has nice numbers. O'Hearn, Rutschman, look at that, batting .615. Santander, Urias have good numbers. Mountcastle does not. Mountcastle's nobody has hit the Jays harder than Mountcastle over the last couple of seasons. This year, the amount of extra base hits is nuts. Gunnar Henderson has struggled against Barrios. Hayes 0 for 4. Frazier 1 for 10. Gibson, on the other hand, Danny Jansen gets to him. Kiermaier, a little bit, but obviously with no power. Bichette 273. Bell 222. So Guerrero 364. Varsho 360. Varsho is Varsho is the only guy in the lineup right now that's scary. He's locked in finally. I mean, we've been waiting all year for it. He's been great in the field all year, but he's starting to play much better. This is another spot where the only reason why I'm betting it is because I bet it every day. I don't like Kyle Gibson here. I don't like Kyle Gibson in general. He just hasn't looked very good. So let's just do our final little bit of due diligence.
God damn it.
Kyle Gibson's last few starts. What's going on, Jose? You want to open up about this? What's going on?
No, if they lose, I just know what's gonna happen. I just know I'm gonna get perturbed messages from all us Orioles backers. Like, the fuck?
Well, you put your stink on it, Jose.
Yeah,
you put your stank on it, and now we don't know what's going to happen. We know what happens when you leave the Orioles alone. We all make money in a no sweat situation where we sit back and cash with no concern, no qualms. What happens when you back them is dangerous.
It's nice when we back them against the A's.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll do the same against the Rockies, right? Because
-1.
That's very easy for a safe better.
Exactly. That's my middle name, Jose Bloody Tits Safe Bouquet.
In the last 3 starts for Kyle Gibson, 17 1/3, he has allowed 16 earned runs.
He's as Joe Yurkovich said, he's due. He's due for a good start.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds a little better. All right. Well, okay. That's it. That is what it is. I'm going to be on the Orioles. Wine Time Sports is on the Blue Jays.
Oh,
what?
I forgot to mention this earlier. We have another retirement sort of bet from our guy Lucas Ryan. I even started this earlier. He says, I want it on record via DMs. I got Pete to ride with me on an esports play. If it misses, you'll never see me again.
Jesus.
And he said just now he has a -225 esports play.
What
is it? Lucas, let us know what it is. And of course, Pete's not here, but of course, he's fucking eating the juice.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
225 is, all you needed to say there, Lucas. It didn't have to be esports. He'll take that 225 to the fucking bank.
It's kind of implied probability that our friend Pistol Pete likes. What a performance last night by Pete in the poker tournament. Second place. He came second place in our live tournament at Pub Sports Radio as well.
Yeah, who came in first?
That was me. I did. All right. I'm going to move on the Orioles. What do you think of this total? Viper on the over 8.5. We've seen it go from 8.5 to 9, 8.5 to 9, 8.5 to 9.
I like the over in this game as well. Yeah, I would lean over. I almost bet it myself here, but I heard Ragu's voice in your head or in my head saying not to double up there, or limit double ups at least.
All right, let's move on. We got a lot of action here on the final 4 games on the card. Tone Miggin's giving us his levels play today. That comes up after the next game. Big O gave us a look on that game as well last night on our poker show. And Troy Torrance has moved in a double up spot here in this one. So let's get to work. Chicago Cubs 66 and 60, 31 and 30 on the road at the Pittsburgh Pirates 57 and 70, 31 and 33 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Andre Jackson. We did a deep dive into Andre Jackson last week. We expect Andre Jackson to be the starter. Don't we still expect him to be the starter for the Pirates, Jose?
I didn't have him last night, and I still don't have, or I did not have a line last time I checked.
Okay, he is. He's listed by the books now. Okay. Andre Jackson will be our starter. Andre Jackson has a high upside. I know why the Pirates got him. He strikes out batters. He's very good with strikeouts, and he looked okay in that first start. He looked pretty good in his first full start. I believe that was his first full start. Maybe it wasn't. I thought he came in from the bullpen the first 2 opportunities for the Pirates since they traded for him. We did the deep dive on Andre Jackson. We went over his minor league numbers, and he's a strikeout pitcher. 4 1/3. Oh, it's Furia money line for Lucas Ryan on Counter-Strike. I don't know what any of those things mean in unison. I know what money line means. Let's copy and paste that here. A very confident Lucas Ryan. I don't like it when our cappers drop a pick that they say now we've never had a capper lose on one of these picks.
True. 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
Shout out to Sabino
Anguano. All right. Cubbies, Pirates. We're talking about Andre Jackson. A nice start at the Twins. I forget offhand. I thought the Twins have been smashing righties. I can tell you here right now, and that's who he went up against yesterday. The Twinkies versus righties, 242, 736 OPS since August 1st. So they've not been smashing. Okay, good.
Ooh.
But he looked okay. 6 Ks, 3 walks. Now the Cubs have been smashing righties. 266, 845 OPS. We're in PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the weather in Pittsburgh. Starting here, 80 Fahrenheit, 4.9 miles per hour right to left, dies down to 4.1. Ballpark Palace, PNC Park, as offensive, plus 3% home runs, plus 17% doubles and triples, plus 10% runs. I believe that's the first time this year that PNC Park has had a double-digit plus runs situation. Joey Work in the house. What up, Joey Work? What a great capper. It is great to see you, man. Joey Work rolling with us today. Cubbies, Pirates, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at this line history. We've already heard from our Troy Torrance that he is moving first half and full game on his Chicago Cubs. He is living in Chicago and a believer in this ball club. And we have a lot. We've Saturated in the chat, also a big believer in the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, they bet him every day too.
And that's been very successful. It's been very successful of late. The Cubs opened up minus 141. They're now minus 156. 15 cents of movement to the Chicago Cubs. We'll take a look at the total here. We're sitting at a 9 at Pinnacle Juice to the under. This opened up at plus 102 to the over. That over started getting juiced, and then it came back. But we still have 4 cents of movement to the over. So we have a slight move to the over and a move to the Cubs. Deacon Mike says his radar system showing possible thunderstorms later innings. What do you think his radar system is? Do you think it's like a jerk and choke?
Wow.
Do you think it's a jerk and choke? Do you think he's got the belt around the neck? And do you think that's his radar system, or do you think what do you think he uses?
I more pictured of Deacon climbing up on his house and just having like an antenna here and then having a little screed and just like going around there. I did not imagine the jerk and choke.
I think Deacon probably has the belt set up in the closet. Buckles himself up, and then he starts jerking it. That's my guess. That's my
vigorously
guess for his radar system. Now, I don't know, but
it's not a house; it's a double wide. By the way, he wanted to correct you there, Jimmy. Get it right. Jesus.
He's a funny dude. Justin Steele. Oh, we didn't look at the cash flow. Let's take a look at the cash flow. Don't let the jerk and choke get you off of your focus. 97% of the tickets and 98% of the cash is on the Chicago Cubs. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing, Jose?
No, I don't think so.
97% of the tickets, 98% of cash. Now, there has been a move towards the Cubs. Then 67% of the tickets, 69% cash on the over. So, Justin Steele, 14-3, 2.80 ERA, 1.17 whip. Last start, 6-4 win at home versus the Royals, and he looked good. Quality start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, no walks. On the road's got a 3 ERA and a 2.36 opponent's batting average. Both bullpens have been mediocre, but the Cubs have been smashing righties, and the Pirates have not been hitting lefties. Take it away for us here, Jose. Cubs, Pirates.
I have nothing in this game. I couldn't give a fuck less about this game. I didn't have a. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't. I don't care. I guess lean at Cubs, but I would like to put more pressure on Lucas Ryan. I am making this official. Furia money line, Houston Astros money line parlay plus 143 official there. Let's go Counter-Strike. Minus 240 for me, by the way, individually. So if it does lose, Lucas Ryan, you might have to ban yourself. Who knows? I don't know.
Wow.
But yeah, I have nothing on this game, unfortunately. Easy pass game for me. I ride with my guy Saturated in Troy, taking the Cubs in some way, but I'm good here.
98% of the cash there. Gonna have to stay off of it. Mikey M says Pirates at home this year versus a lefty, 2-7 straight up.
Isn't it nice having children?
Okay.
She sounds like she's having a good time, at least.
Deacon Mike says this game all depends what lineup dumbass Ross puts out, but leaning towards the over here.
By the way, I was told I need to make sure that my esports bet is for today as well. So that's a good look there, Billy Friedrich. Lucas, let me know who they're playing. Are they playing Movistar Riders?
7-2 to the over. Mike M says the over was the look here. Troy Torrance says the cash flow will back towards normal as the day goes on. Let's just take one last look at that over. Then we need the Pirates to hit steal enough.
Oh shit!
Let's move on. I'll put the over with some question marks and look a little deeper into it. Okay, let's move on. And Deacon, let us know if you do move on that over. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. This is an interesting one. Texas Rangers at Minnesota Twins, and we've heard from Tone Miggins. Nobody's hitting harder than our friend Tone Miggins in the chat. Texas moneyline plus 107 for 1 unit is the levels play of the day. Not only that, but Big O, he gave us the first 5 last night. He gave us the first 5 on our poker stream last night. Darren Turner, Rangers moneyline and Orioles moneyline. Let's break this one down. I am surprised that nobody wants to back Pablo Lopez in this spot, as he is being simply spectacular of late. And Andrew Heaney has looked vulnerable. The Twins smash lefties, but nobody here is on the Twinkies. Mike M says Texas in the first game of a series against non-division opponent 2-25. 1777 says memorabilia says Rangers to snap the 6-game losing streak. Big Daddy Boom says just be careful with the market manipulators. That is important. And Leo, we'd like to do a show on that topic, and it'd be great to have on that show. We'd like to do that. Billy Friedrich says that he can't trust the Rangers, and Ron Crawford says Texas smashes righties. Not as hard as the Twins have been hitting lefties in August. Twins versus lefties, 261, 810 OPS. The Rangers, 249, 763 OPS. We have a lean towards the Twinkies from Rocco Rogers' first 5, but nobody here on them. Very, very, very interesting. Billy Friedrich says Rangers have lost how many games in a row now? 6, I believe, is that number. And Reclaim James says he was feeling the Twins, just a lean. Johnny Guns on the first 5 over 4.5. Shout out to our guy, Johnny Guns. All right, let's start with the weather here in Minnesota. In Minnesota, 86 Fahrenheit, 7.6 miles per hour left to right. 7.6 dies down to 4.4 miles per hour. Then let's move over to Ballpark Pal and see what their expectation is here in Minnesota. Very close to Lake Minnetonka. Target field here, minus 5% homers, plus 3% doubles and triples, plus 5% singles, but just plus 3% overall. Just plus 3% overall. Ramon Scott moving in the Little League World Series. Mexico plus 125 over Caraco. Why not?
Curacao.
Why not? Curacao. Thank you. Why not bet on children? I mean, I don't see why not. I don't
know, but fuck those kids for beating Team Venezuela. Just a reminder.
All right. Andrew Heaney versus Pablo Lopez. Let's take a look at the line history. Not ridiculously offensive situation here, but Pinnacle has moved this total from 8 to 8, and it opened at 8.5. Sorry, opened at 8.5, juice to the under. So we've actually had 6 cents of movement to the over. I thought this opened at 8. Are there any books that are hanging in 8? Any books that we respect that are hanging in 8? Yes. Bet Chris, not really. That over 8's minus 128. And yes, so there are 8s, but it's minus 130 to the over. So the 8.5 is juiced to the under. Okay, let's take a look at the money line. Then next here for us, we have Heaney Lopez. Minnesota Twins open up at minus 128. They're now minus 119. We've had about an 8-cent move to the Texas Rangers, and our cappers in the chat liking the Rangers here. Johnny Guns had it opening at 8, minus 120, moving to the over 8.5. Now, when did Pinnacle open up that 8.5? That's an important question. Was that just opened up this morning? And we had just a move as I was talking about it. Another move. The under 8.5 is now minus 111. So this opened up at 8.5 at 5:07 p.m., but you're probably talking about an even earlier move, Johnny Guns, from Bet Online, and Bet Online would have dropped this at like 2:30, about 3 hours before. And yes, and in fact, so Johnny Guns is right. This opened up 1:52 p.m. At 8, and the under was even money, and there's been a 10-cent move to the over from that number, from -120 to -130. Troy Torrance says this is a Twins spot in his opinion. Leo Leon says Texas in a 34.1% spot on the road off a loss, but this is a new team, so he would ignore that trend. Mike M agreeing that this is a Twins spot, Heaney versus Lopez, but there is a legit move towards the Rangers. And do you want to be on the other side of Tom Miggins? So let's take a look at the cash flow here. 2 games left after this. 42% of the tickets, 59% of the cash on the Twins, but the market is moving towards the Rangers. 75% of tickets, 88% cash on the over, and the line's slightly moving towards the over. Joe Yeager says Texas had the day off. Von Polo is on the Twins. Pablo Lopez pitching very well, but he, it took him a little while to start pitching well at Target Field. Still, his overall numbers aren't nearly as good as his road numbers. 69 innings, 4-2, 4.30 ERA, 233 opponents batting average, was a great start. 5-1 win at home over the Pirates. So now he has consecutive home starts, and we like for those pitchers to do that to get into their routine. Andrew Heaney's not looked good very of late, and we expect a very quick hook on him. 4.27 ERA, 1.34 whip. Last start, 3 2/3, 3 earned runs in a 9-8 loss at home versus the Brewers. Has similar numbers on the road and at home, so there's not much going on there. And we already talked about Twins smashing lefties and the Rangers hitting righties hard, and then the Rangers bullpen's been much better than the Twins. Deshaun G says the Twins will win today, Jimmy. Dabby Cab says I got the Rangers team total over 3.5. Says Heaney might get touched, but I got 27 outs to get 4 runs with the Rangers, so he is in. Billy Friedrich says, remember what Keuchel did to the Twins last week. That's an important point. Good point, Billy. Take it away for us here, Jose. Rangers, Twinkies.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to stay off this game. I went back and forth on it for a little bit. Shout out to Pablo, my best friend. 3 straight scoreless appearances for Pablo. The opponents in that, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Detroit. So not like he's facing any world beaters, but 3 straight appearances with 0 earned runs. Shout out to him. I think he can do it to this Rangers squad. But, it's funny. Full seasons, the Twins are horrible against lefties. And Billy Friedrich was mentioning that in the chat. Full season, they're 26, 90 weighted runs created plus. But as you and others are mentioning in the chat, this month against lefties, Minnesota, 9th, 122 weighted runs created plus. So it's tough. I go back and forth. I kind of like the over in this game. I don't think Pablo can go 4 straight appearances with shutouts. And I like the Twins here, honestly, because they are hitting lefties, but I have nothing on this game, unfortunately. So it was just an easy pass for me.
But, we talk about Twins not hitting lefties, but they're hitting lefties of late, even though they got shut down by Keuchel, which is a legit fear. Mike M says Twins games versus lefties 12-3 to the over. Heaney in a 16-0 spot to the over. The pimp slap play today is the over 8.5, and he's pumped up. Londo liking that over 8.5. Huh. Can Pablo Lopez continue to shove is the question, because
4 straight scoreless appearances is a tall task to ask.
We said the same thing about Charlie Morton, not 4. He was going on 3, it was his 3rd, and he shoved again.
Yeah, he did. Trumbalone.
Oh, yeah, Benjamin says Keuchel pitches for the Twins. What the hell am I talking about? Of course. Thank you, Benjamin Hills. I was lack of sleep there. If you like the over, take Texas, says Ron Crawford. Let's go back to that cash flow here, and then we can move past it. I'd be on the Twins if our guys weren't all on the Rangers.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on the Twins that popped up there as well.
75% of tickets, 88% cash on the over, and yet, it's not done much over at Pinnacle. And, also, not only that, but, Bet Online, Bookmaker, I know that you can use alternate lines on those books, but they're sitting there with the 8, -130, and -128. I find that interesting. And Pinnacle's got the 8.5 juice today. Okay, I'm gonna have to be off of this spot, unfortunately. Johnny Gunn says home road splits for Lopez. Yeah, they're worse on the road. They're worse at home.
430 at home. Yeah,
but he just shoved at home last start, and he's been much better at home of late.
Mm-hmm.
Mike M says he doesn't like Texas here tonight. 225 spot shows a beatdown of almost 4.5 runs. Wow. It's all good, Billy. It's all good, my man. Okay, Raymond Reichardt's action is in. He is on the Yankees -1.5, Houston money line, Cleveland money line, going to add the White Sox -1.5 and the Minnesota Texas over 8.5, and it is 1-0 Yankees.
Unsurprising, Aaron Judge.
Wow.
Well, he's the king of not clutch home runs, so congratulations to him.
All right, well, let's move on here. Okay, let's move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Oakland Athletics against the Chicago White Sox, and we have arrived at the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. A's, White Sox, guaranteed rate field. Ron Crawford is on the Chicago White Sox -1 and -106. Shout out to our friend Ron Crawford. Ken Waldecott going up against Jesse Schultens. Let's take a look. We've spoken already about the enormous offensive expectations of this spot in Chicago today. It's very, very hot. 96, but feels like 104. 10 miles per hour right to left. Dies down to 8.1. It is 8.1, but it is slightly out. Let's take a look at the line history then. Ballpark Pal. We've already discussed it, but I'll remind everybody. Plus 53% home runs. Minus 12% doubles and triples. Plus 4% singles. It gives an overall of plus 20% runs. Plus 20% runs here in this spot. All right, let's break this down. Money line wise, we have Schultens and the White Sox opening up -138. They're now -136. So we've had a 2-cent move towards the Oakland A's at Pinnacle. Take a look at the total in this one. This total is sitting at 10. It opened up at 9.5 at 5:07 p.m. yesterday. It got to 10 at 11:18 p.m. Then at 7:40 in the morning, it dropped back to 9.5. Bet up to 10 again, and then back to 9.5. Strange. Now it's at 10 at -104 right now, but that floppity is pretty strange. Saturated. Troy Torrance says it's brutal in Chi-Town, hot and humid. Robert Franklin got on the 9.5. Let's move over here. Rocco Rogers cashing Mookie 4+ bases at +200. Billy Freer says Schultens is good for a couple of innings, then the floodgates open up. Markel on the A's first 5 money line. 1777 memorabilia says just based off the lines, I think the best game for a potential upset is today. Sorry. I was thinking it says potential upset today are the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay, so here for these White Sox, we have a 2-cent move to the A's, which is a surprise. 59% of the tickets and 61% of the cash is on the Oakland A's. So that's why, that's simple. Then 84% of the tickets and 80% of the cash is on the over. It's surprising that that's flipped and flopped. I'm surprised by that with the weather the way it is. We have old Waldecott coming off a 7-2 loss at home versus the Orioles. He wasn't bad. 5 2/3, 2 runs. That was the 7-2 extra inning loss, right? That was 2-2 going into extras. Then on the road, he's been abysmal. 7.29 ERA, 296 opponent's batting average. He's allowed 10 jacks over 54 and a third. Schultens 11-5 loss at the Rockies. That's in a thin air, and that can be a tough place to pitch. 3 innings, 5 earned runs. At home, he's been quite a bit better. 4.09 ERA over 22 innings, but he has a 287 opponent's batting average there. The A's are hitting 227.08 versus righties, and the White Sox are not hitting lefties at all. 218, 556. Both bullpens have been atrocious. Take it away for us here, Jose. Athletics, White Sox, our second to last game on the board.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in this game either, unfortunately. I just want nothing to do with it. I guess Ballpark Pal says this game's going over, so I guess I'd lean that way. But no interest in this game. Ken Waldechuk, not a guy I want to back. And Jesse Schultens, I still don't believe is a real human being. So easy pass for me, unfortunately.
Jeffrey Moore thinks that you have jinxed the Orioles. Billy Fisher says Schulten's already faced the A's in Oaktown. 4 innings pitched, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, and 7-4 loss for the Sox. If this hadn't have kept flipping back to 9.5, I would be on the over with you guys. But that flippity floppity 84% on the over, why would it flip back? It's a red flag to me. I'm certainly not going to bet the under, but I will just cheer you guys on. All right, let's get to the final spot on the board. And this was a MLB best bet for BJ. The Diamondbacks money line minus 164. Ron Crawford says, Ron Crawford, I have not updated it last night. I apologize. It's very good. It's very good, but I did not update it last night. I will get to that tomorrow. I'm taking the kids to an indoor playground where I can just sit and work the entire time and not even look for them. It's a very small indoor playground. It's perfect. It's the most perfect situation. I wish we went there all the time. We go there all the time in the winter, but it'll just be the 3 of us. They'll go play and I will work and I'll have everything ready to go for tomorrow. And I apologize, Ron, but I'm only a couple days off. We had some late nights this week with the Monday Night Live, picked up $800. Then Tuesday night, I gave it all back in baseball and then I couldn't sleep. And then last night we had poker. So I'm like really running off of no sleep whatsoever. And I apologize for that. But I have capped all the games. Cincinnati Reds, 67-61, 36-27 on the road. At the Arizona Diamondbacks, 66-61, 32-31 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We know the roof will be closed. Unlike Milwaukee at 110 Fahrenheit, how in the world was the roof not closed? Because Bud Selig is cheap. Didn't want to pay for the AC. Brandon Williamson going up against Merrill Kelly. This is a fun one. We've already heard from BJ Best Bet on the Diamondbacks. The Reds were very good to us against the Angels. Very, very good to us. Live betting overs, cashing against Ohtani. Now, obviously, that was fortunate. Let's take a look at the line history here. We got these cards sitting at minus 165. They opened up at minus 155. Cards, excuse me. These backs, these snakes. Snakes are hot again. Snakes are hot again. It looked like the season was going to fall apart, but they won 8 out of 10 going into yesterday, and that put them in the 3rd wildcard spot again. So they've got hope and excitement. 10-cent move towards the Snakes. Let's take a look at the total here in this one. The total is sitting at 9, juice to the under. This opened up at under 9 minus 105. It's now under 9 minus 114. So that's 9 cents of movement to the under. Rocco Rogers catching that Judge home run. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Ron Crawford said he's on vacation this week, and the lovely Wendy's birthday is Saturday. I believe that you guys celebrated your 34th anniversary this year, I believe. Wendy is wonderful. She sure is. And you guys are a great team, Ron. And you just lead by example. And we love you too.
I love that name, Wendy.
Let's go to the line history here. Let's go to the cash flow. We've gone to the line history. Cash flow, our final game on today's card. 70% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Arizona Diamondbacks, and a 10-cent move in their direction. Okay. Then we have 28% of the tickets, but 83% of cash on the under, and there's been a 9-cent move in that direction. Brandon Williamson coming off a 4-3 loss at home versus Blue Jays, and he didn't look very good. That's a tough place to pitch in. This should be easier. 4-3, 4.47 ERA, 1.26 whip. He's a pitcher we believe in. On the road, he's not being that good this year. K to walk ratio, suspect, 31-18. But he's only allowed 4 jacks over 35 and 2/3. 246 opponent's batting average. Merrill Kelly coming off a 6-4 win at the Padres. He didn't look very good in that one. 5 1/3, 3 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 4 walks. At home, though, he's been quite good this year. Actually, he's been a little bit better on the road, but at home, he's been very good. 200 opponents batting average, 3.27 ERA. Reds versus righties, 233, 729. They don't look dangerous. I know it's funny to say that after they put up runs against the Angels, but I watched them pretty closely, and it's Matt McClain. Matt McClain's an absolute monster. Look, obviously, you don't want Ella De La Cruz. You don't want him on the base paths. He's He's unbelievably fast, and he's makes the right decisions, and he's just going to be a magical player. We're so excited, so lucky we get to watch him over the next 10 years. But you never know, as we thought we were going to watch Wander Franco for a long time as well. Merrill Kelly, it can be trusted. The question is, can Brandon Williamson be trusted? The Reds bullpen pitching very well. They looked really good in that series against the Angels. 3.91 ERA since August 1st. Diamondbacks bullpen is looking a little better. They were the worst bullpen in the league in July. 5.31 ERA in August. Is that better? Is it? I don't know. Take it away for us here, Jose. Our final game on the card, Reds Diamondbacks.
First 5 under here, 4.5 minus 110 for me. I do not believe in either of these teams offensively. The Diamondbacks against lefties here. As I scroll to look at this for the last month, 18th, 89 weighted runs created plus this month. Full season for Arizona against lefties, they are 21st, 92 weighted runs created plus. You believe in Brandon Williamson, therefore I believe in Brandon Williamson. He is a good pitcher. So I think he pitches well here. Merrill Kelly does his thing. He's a solid quality pitcher in his own right as well. So first 5 under, 4.5 minus 110.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I think this is a spot that should be moved on. It's push has come to shove in your nerfy bet. It's right. It's hanging in the balance, but you just need one more out.
I've not watched a second of it, so that's not good to hear.
There are some ducks on the pond here, but
wah.
All right, so let's look at Brandon Williamson. So yeah, the Jays got to him in a very offensive situation, but he had 2 really nice starts in a row. And who got to him as well? The Cubs. But you know what the Cubs were doing at that time, and that was at Wrigley. Why wouldn't Brandon Williamson pitch well? And why wouldn't Merrill Kelly pitch well? So I like where you're at here, and I also like what the Diamondbacks are doing. But it feels like the Reds have a lot of momentum. And there's your nerfy. Cash it. God, I should have joined you on that.
Shout out to Lambert.
Reds, Diamondbacks. What was your first 5 under?
4.5 minus 110 for me.
I like if you had a free bet on the side right now, are you not wanting? I mean, these are just 2 hot teams going up against each other. Is that the concern? And the Reds weren't hot until they left LA, or went into LA.
Let's see here. I mean, honestly, I don't associate hot with either of these teams right now. I think both these teams have obviously fallen off in the second half, and that has affected my view of them for sure, obviously. But you're right. The Diamondbacks are on a 4-game winning streak. The Reds are on a 3-game winning streak. I mean, honestly, if I had to pick a side here, gun to head, I'd take the Diamondbacks and not really factoring in price. I just think the Diamondbacks win this game with a better pitcher on the bump, and the Reds' offense has just not been there as much. So that's what I would bet if I had to make a bet on the side. But I think it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And if it's coin flippy, then a plus 150 doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah. I like where you're at. I would like to move on unders in this game. I like where you're at. I think that makes sense. All right. That is our final game on the board. Alfred saying Kelly to record a win at plus 120. I really think that it is coin flippy because of how well the Reds are playing. They feel good about themselves. They're right back in the race, and they're heading to Arizona. I don't. If this was a pick 'em, that's a different thing. But because I do lean towards the Diamondbacks. All right, let's review all action. I'm going to be on those unders. I think it's a double up spot for me. First 5 in full game under. All right, the Alouettes Blue Bombers is extremely fishy, man. It's at 9. It's gone from 7.5 to 9, and I've not seen one person on the Bombers. That is fishy. Now maybe it's a simple look. Maybe it's a real simple look. Let's see if we have 8.5s on the board now. We don't. Bookmaker. Okay, bookmaker. But I mean the bookmaker and Bet Chris. But did they move it back from? No, they've never moved it to 9. So they opened it at 8.5, dropped it to 8, and then put it back to 8.5. So it's extremely fishy. Not Flush Allen says Red's going to be gassed from the doubleheader. That's an important angle. They should be tired from the doubleheader. And their bullpen should be tired from that doubleheader.
Hopefully Williams gives them some length today. I'm assuming that's what they're hoping for as well.
That's an important point from Nut Flush, which does lead me towards that first half under that you're on. It makes me want to cut the full game under and then focus only on the first half under and maybe the Diamondbacks on the -1 line. That's such an important point, Nut Flush, and I didn't thank you for mentioning it. It's such an important point. So that's what I think is now. I think the Diamondbacks might, because you're right. I mean, that was a lot of energy expended yesterday. Sweeping the double dip
takes a lot to do that. Yeah.
That's such an important point. Thank you, Mike. So then in NFL, I'm going to be on the under 38.5 in Pittsburgh, Atlanta. And the question is, will I be on the Steelers first quarter -1/2? I think so. Yes, I will be. Then the Colts game, I need more time on. We heard people on either side. Billy Frieder said Ashcraft went 7 innings in the first game, though. That's legit. No, that was the first game of this series. That wasn't the first game of the double dip. That was the Giolito. That was the spot I lost on the 2-base error. I will go over that a little more, and I'll tweet out my action after the show, as I always do. Gifted cartels on the Guardians, Dodgers, Yurfie, Red Sox, Astros, Yurfie. Morgan Spooner's on the Cubs -1, Texas, Minnesota, first 5 over 4.5, and he's on the Orioles. Nats, Yankees, we ended up staying off the Yankees. And I don't feel like that was a wrong decision, because even at -160, I was like, But look, wait, what's it right now? Sorry, let me just move over here. I should have used a different site. This one's so bad at the refreshing. Yeah. Runner on second, 1-0 Yankees. Probably was the spot. The under in Colorado, Tampa probably was the spot too. I wish I didn't get cold feet there. It is what it is. Saturate says they're a homeless hitchhiker parlay of the day. You know what? We will do one tomorrow, because we can get Dabby Cab, we can get Jose, we can get myself, and we can get DJ Big Boss in college. So we can have a multi-sport and the last time we did a 4-person play of the day was glorious. Was full of cash. 12-1 with cash. Jose cashed the Nerfy already. Excellent job, Jose. The Epstein Island play of the day is the Rays -1.5 from our friend Alfred 44. And Hunter Engelhart cashed the Rockies Rays Nerfy. He's on the Astros first half -0.5. First 5 -0.5. Jose's on the first 5 under 5 in LA, Cleveland, the game that hasn't started yet. Jose's on the over 9 in Houston, Boston. I'm going to be on the Astros -1. Perky Sanderson's on the Astros. Justin McElvey's on Kyle Tucker RBI. Londo is on the over 9, and BJ is also on the Astros. I'm going to be on the Orioles, but I have to go heads up with Wine Time Sports. Viper MB is on the over 8.5. Jose is also going to be on the Orioles, and we'll see what happens when his stank joins us. We have Troy Torrance on the Cubs first half -0.5, full game -1.5. Mike M is on the over 8.5 for Texas, Minnesota as the pimp slot play of the day. Tone Miggins is on Texas money line full game as his levels play of the day. And then we have our guy Big O on the Rangers first 5. Give that out at poker last night. Kenny Ken is on the Nerfy in Cincinnati, Arizona. That's a nice look, Kenny Ken.
That makes me want to add it. Once I catch one Nerfy, I just want to keep betting them. I'm 2-0 in Nerfies this year. They're an addiction.
Raymond Reichardt's on the Yankees -1.5. Houston money line, Cleveland money line. That's the game that hasn't started, of course. White Sox -1.5. Minnesota, Texas over 8.5 for Raymond Reichart. Spreadsheet play today is the Chicago White Sox -1 at -106. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Cincinnati, Arizona. I'm going to be joining him, and I'm not going to be on the full game anymore. I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4.5, and then I'm going to be on the Diamondbacks -1. And that rolls with BJ's best bet. All right. Jay's final take says Nerfy the whole card. That's what he thinks you should do.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Be an addict. Be an addict.
Don't just pretend to be an addict. Good time. By the way, Jimmy, I don't know if you've mentioned these. I'm officially I'm an addict, so I'm going to add that Diamondbacks Nerfy right now. Actually, -115 for me there as well. You've already cashed one. Let's keep free rolling with this other one. So I'll join you there. Whoever said that, Kenny Can, I believe it was.
Yeah, Kenny Can.
I'm on Houston -1, officially plus 107. And I'm going to officially be on Lucas Ryan's parlay here. Furia money line, Houston money line. I found the right day for the event there as well. Plus 141 officially there for me as well. So I tweeted it out already. Shout out to Lucas. I forgot what his Twitter. He DM'd me and I was like, God damn it, I needed this 2 seconds ago. But I tweeted the play as well. So Lucas, let me know if Furia wins, please.
Toe Megan's also on the Yurfie in the Dodgers game that's coming up here. And I like that Nerfy that Kenny Ken's on. I think that makes perfect sense. I'd like to join him. Jay's final take is joining him. And Lucas, there is no Jose show today. Thursday is him and I right here on our show. So you can catch Jose back in business tomorrow on Friday when his special guest will be C-Mac. We have a huge day of action here at Pub Sports Radio. We have The Walking Dead at 3:10 at 5 p.m. Oh, no, just The Walking Dead at 3:10. And then we have the Unmuted Mic at 10 p.m. Eastern. And can you put up the guest one more time for us, Jose? I mean, we can't get enough of this guest.
This one? Oh, whoops,
no,
sorry.
Not her. Her. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, it goes to pub, but I like the dropping the membership. It's a very cool thing, Lucas. So if you want to do it tomorrow, it's great to have the guys in green. It means a ton to us. So there we go. That is our show for today. We thank all of you who joined the poker tournament last night. It was so much fun. Aren't they so much fun these Wednesday nights?
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun, and next week will be extra special because you're hosting by yourself.
Yeah, and it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because I got to do it all on this computer.
No, you don't. I promise you don't.
Well, I have to have the stream on it and my poker on it.
Nope. You'll have the poker on the other computer, and then you'll also be on the stream on that computer as well. So you have 2 places.
Okay, we'll have to go over this. I haven't slept. All right, thank you guys so much. What a great group. Just very thankful to rock with you guys. Jeffrey Moore, Jay's final take, Londo, Nasty, motherfucking Nate, Billy Friedrich, Lucas Ryan at the casino right now getting that cake. Saturated, Christopher Comentini, Reclaim James, Tone Miggins, Kenny Ken, Viper NB, Nut Flush Allen, Luke Murphy. And I'm not making up when I say esteemed author. I mean, this is a very impressive author. Let's get. I'd love to have something we could throw up of his last book. Let's see if we can get that for tomorrow because he's got a bunch of books for sale right now. He's a great author, and I'd love if we could help promote Luke Murphy more than we do. Rance, Drip, Skylark, Rocco Rogers, Alfred 44, Darren Turner, Tori Coker, 1777 memorabilia, Christopher Comentini, Mike M, all of you guys, Jeffrey Moore, Ramon Scott, Justin McElvey. Thank you guys so much for all of your hustle. Ron Crawford on vacation, Deshaun G, Markel, Justin Sturgis. Thank you guys for supporting Big Daddy Boom, James Reed. James Reed says, just tuning in. I like the Jays today. What y'all think? We bet the Orioles every day, most of us. And we get paid when we do it. So I'm just going to stick to it. Thank you guys. And don't forget our new NFL show. Jose, can you close with it to give people a peek who haven't seen it? Troy Torrance and myself, Bankroll Blitz pops off in 12 days. Football is afoot. Football's ahead of us. Jose, great work. Do you mind blessing our show and lecheing us into the future? 1-0 Rays, by the way. Can you leche us into the future?
Good. That's fine. As long as it's in the second inning. By the way, shout out to Kenny Can. In my head, I keep stats, obviously. And I think that might be the first person to just come in, drop a play, and both of us immediately just like, oh, okay, I'll bet that. And I bet it. I don't know about you if you bet it yet, but
I have not bet it yet. But I'm going to get my action in here in a second. And it was nice.
Yeah, Kenny Ken. This doesn't happen very often. So let's get that Nerfy, my guy. And Lucas Ryan, big day coming from Lucas Ryan. Let me know, Lucas, about Furia, please. Let me know, Fury. And I feel so bad for Billy Friedrich. I said I was going to jump on his bandwagon, and I immediately just jumped off as quickly as I could. So I'm sorry, Billy. I still love you, but not as much as I fucking love money, apparently. Leche, he los bookmaker.
White open Torrance! Oh, baby! Touchdown! How do you leave the best receiver in the NAIA that wide open?
I am so excited to announce our brand new football show on Pub Sports Radio, Bankroll Blitz. We had an excellent year last year. 107 wins, 79 losses, hit at 57.5%, plus 19.2 units, ROI plus 10.32%, average line minus 111. But there's always room for improvement. There is always more money to make. And I can't wait to introduce to you my co-host this season, Troy Torrance.
It's good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me out, man. Super excited to be here and take this journey with you.
Oh, man, Troy, we are pumped up about this partnership. Troy, tell the Pub Sports Squad a little bit of why you are the star of this new season.
So there's really three things that my entire life has revolved around since I was a little boy. And the first thing is football. Played football my entire life throughout college, was an All-American receiver, and had some opportunities at the NFL level that didn't really pan out. But I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish. The second thing is my gambling background. For about as long as I've been playing football, I've been gambling. From playing Madden back in my high school days at a professional level, playing high-stakes cash games, winning Madden challenges, and fast forward after college, played a lot of 2-5 no limit, very competitively for many years. And around 2020, when COVID happened, casinos started shutting down. Is kind of when I got gravitated back into sports through a gambling lens. And it's a beautiful thing because that's kind of where I've been most successful. So I'm extremely excited to be here, represent the Pub Sports community, man.
You are a huge addition to our channel, and I'm so excited for this season. The season is fast approaching. You can catch us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Bankroll Blitz starts September 5th, baby. Let's go.